I realized something today. There are people out there that didn't get bullied enough, and they're still fucking nerds.
I am a nerd, like not the good kind. I'll go to my friends who are all nerds, just like me,
That didn't get bullied enough.
and I'm like, hey guys, you want to do the stupidest thing ever? Let's just be cheerleaders.
Fucking nerds. I wouldn't talk to these people in normal, real life.
Mr. Cheerleader, cool.
Wait a minute, like, I wish I was cool. I was never cool.
Fucking nerds. And all those people should be bullied and beaten to death.
Like that
Really?
giant nerd my entire life, yeah.
They're always bothered when they're reminded that they're nerds.
That was the funny irony of all of this. It's like I'm just this dorky guy who's like, I like anime, video games.
Fucking nerds.
Dude, you're a fucking nerd. Yeah, I know. I know I am.
And all those people should be bullied and beaten to death.
I know I was a nerd because I look at me. Like, I was a skinny, frail bitch. I got it. We're all nerds.
By the way, you want a fucking nerd? There's one.
What the hell is that thing on the table behind you? Your nail polish collection? It's paint for miniatures, bigot, because I'm a giant nerd.
I'm gonna paint my models. Yeah, have fun. What a loser.
Ultra Smurfs Primaris Captain.
Stop trying to, pretend to be cool.
And I hate that. I should never be embarrassed to be a fucking nerd.
That's weird. You're not cool. We can all see you.
Hey, Nick, what are those figures over your right shoulder? Those figures are the Bandai Premier Warhammer 40K Space Marines.
Fucking nerds.
I'm a nerd, which puts me down low on the market value. Thank God I have a Lady Rackets.
Didn't get bullied enough.
Maximum nerd, okay? I used to play a game called EverQuest. If you don't know how D&D works, let me nerd you out for just a second. We're a bunch of fucking nerds.
Fucking nerds.
May you never call another man a nerd.
That's true.
And all those people should be bullied and beaten to death.
Oh, that is the Adeptus Mechanicus trilogy box set. Nerd.
Fucking nerds.
I will say I'm a total nerd.
Didn't get bullied enough.
Yeah. That's what makes me like you.
When I find out that someone's just a fucking nerd with no joy in their life, I don't want them around anymore. So they're gone. And today I just started blocking a whole shitload of people.
It's not looking good, bros.
So great. Oh, so good. And they're still fucking nerds. And all those people should be bullied and beaten to death.
You guys are fucking embarrassing.
And they're still fucking nerds.
How's it going, everyone? That clip was from, as the banner should say below, from Third World Aristocat, and he's putting out some banger videos so far. The Frank's Motions Denied one was pretty good, and I hope they don't mind that I played that in the beginning of the stream. I did ask, but if they want me to remove it, I will. But how's it going, chat? It's been a wild couple of days. We need a... Hold on, we'll get something else in a second. We'll start off with this one. There we go. That's a good one to start off on. As we get the Baldo bunker set up ready. There we go. Got the cats and everything. Be sure to like the stream. Much appreciated if you would do that. Yes, it's been a wild weekend. It's kind of hard to put this all together. There was just so many unhinged tweets and then like an entire Cope Sessions stream, as well as new doomed documents. Even Nick himself has said that these documents are basically not going to do anything. It's a waste of time. It's very defeatist, very nihilistic, and it gets a bit dark at some points. And of course, he has also threatened Elissa Clips to, I guess, strike her channel, which is a complete reversal of what he said in the past, and an absolute defeat, I would say, on his stance of freedom of speech, and just a complete reversal of his entire personality back from when he got copyright struck by Law and Crime. But where should we get to first? It's a little bit weird. Like, I think I need like one of those boards with like the red string to put this all together. I think we'll start off with the April tweets, and I'll try and do them in the same time frame as the Nick tweets as well as the Breaking Baldo, and I think there was also some Malcolm X tweets in there as well. Two guys that you should follow on Twitter if you're interested in Rekieta news. That is Breaking Baldo and Malcolm X. They do a lot of quality A logging. I try and stay out. I want to observe from the orbit. I don't really want to get in the mix, but they enjoy poking the bear quite a bit, and it's quite fun. But you can see that Nick went on a little bit of a spree. He's got a new favorite word, nerd, which is a strange thing because he seems to think that it's very offensive. Like he's just like absolutely owning their A-logs, which I think is nobody gives a shit about. It's like the only way I can kind of rationalize this is that he's lost so much control in his own life that he thinks that by calling people nerds and by thinking that nerds affects them in any meaningful way, which it doesn't. I don't think anyone's offended by the word nerd at all. And by his own admission, he is a nerd himself. So if it's like a textbook case of projection, obviously. I think that this is some way that he's trying to regain power in his own life. But I don't want an armchair psychiatrist too much, although I will be doing that a bit tonight. And I want to ask you guys' opinion. Do you think something terrible, I think, happened recently? Because when he got on his stream, it was holy shit. It was a shit show. I can only imagine that something really bad just occurred. Some people are saying that Kayla's left, that the divorce arc is happening. Maybe she's just still watching Star Trek. We don't know. I think the most likely situation is that the next 2 days are going to be very interesting because tomorrow, I believe, is Kayla's omnibus hearing. And I think then the next day is April's omnibus hearing. Now, if one of those comes back and they can throw out the search warrant, then of course you could go back and say, well, like if the search warrant was defected for April or for Kayla, then surely mine is too. Now, this was already denied when he didn't get his Frank's motion hearing. I'm going to have a look at his appeal for that. The chance of those actually coming out in his favor, very low, like maybe 1%, but you know, it could always happen. But I think that the reality is dawning on him that he has about a month left. November 26th and 27th will be his criminal and his civil case. And at that point, he has to either take a plea, not guilty, or guilty. And at that time, the most likely situation is that the body cam would also come out as well. And everyone's going to be able to see through the veil that he's been trying to put up that I don't think many people believe in. But it's like a no-win situation for him really here. And maybe he's just holding on to the last few days inside the bunker. The sand and the dust is like coming down as the bombs are hitting. And, you know, what can you do but, you know, maybe cope up a bit and just try and live for those fleeting brief moments. But I don't know. What do you think, guys? So let's start, I guess, with the April tweets. And these are really weird. She went on a big tweet spree. This is her first tweet since February 19th, and you can see that they start on October 27th. And I guess she changed her Twitter name because very cringe. But her Twitter handle is April Law. Is she becoming a lawyer? Did she think that the last name, Rekieta's last name, is Rekieta Law? Maybe she can't get married to him, so she's like, well, I can't marry Nicholas Rekieta. I'll marry Rekieta Law, so I'm Mrs. Law. Is she the in-law? It's a weird name for a handle. Because I think all she does is just sit in the corner and then go for woods walks. But she started her tweets. I'm going to go through, not all of them, but we're going to go through some of the choice ones. There's a few weird ones, and some of them that imply that Kayla might be on the outs. I'm not sure if I believe that just yet. I need to see some hard evidence on that. But she started today. I guess it was like about 12, 16 hours ago, something like that, with, I guess, being right takes too long on October 27th. Now, Nick is also tweeting at the same time as he's being trolled by Breaking Baldo News. He says, "Get lost, nerd." That's the first instance of the nerd. And nerd is very much like Stalker Child, if you've been following the Patrick Tomlinson saga. That's his new favorite word, where he always responds to everyone nerd, and he's blocking everybody, blocking all the A-logs. But in response to that Get Lost Nerd, she says, "Thank for your reposting. I lost my notes. I'll make sure to improve on your efforts." So they're kind of working together. It's very strange. Like, I don't like it when couples DM in public. Like, if it's on Facebook or on Twitter, I think keep that shit to your DMs. It's very weird for me because I think you should keep that stuff private. But they seem to be tweeting at each other. Are they in the same room? Are they in the same house? Is she gone? Is she on the loose? Has the ape escape happened? We don't know. We don't know. She did go in the woods, though. And let's see. It says, "I wonder if it ever gets lonely thinking you could live without me." It's a very vague very mysterious, very edgy. Well, not edgy, but a bit emo, I should say. And apparently some guy, T-Dog, says, you don't have to prove anything to anyone, April. And she says, I agree. Thanks for waiting for me. And now she goes through a lot of these tweets with Nick, and there's a few really strange ones. Like this one that says, from Breaking Baldo, she responded to. And like I said, this is a bit convoluted to go through all this, but Breaking Baldo says, in response to, I guess, April, I have to go back a bit. Oh, she says, ha ha ha, it's Inception. I guess it was they're both meeting each other, or they're both tweeting each other. Breaking Baldo said, Breaking Baldo News World exclusive. We have evidence of rekietalaw using April Law's account. So that was the implication, is that April was using, Nick was using April's account. And some people have suggested he's done this in the past. Maybe she's just aping him, like copying his mannerisms, because Aaron did say on his show that he was, or that she does copy people that she's in a relationship with. But in response to that, I have to go back. Like I said, it's a bit convoluted. April said to him, ha 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 ha, it's Inception. I've come, C-U-M, full circle. Enjoy, everyone. Baldo then said, I've come full circle, April. Did a little of rekietalaws classic humor slip in there since you've been supporting his or supplanting his wife? Or was that a Freudian slip from the Baldo behind the keyboard? And to that is what she responded, saying, yes, I finally came for once in my life. So throwing a bit of shade on Aaron. But there's a funny thing in here. There's a funny thing in here where I want to scroll up to see it. There was people were suggesting that it was Nick using her account. So then she had to come out and post this photo of herself. Now the weird thing about this is I believe it was posted in AM in the morning or something, and people zoomed in on the clock and they're like, well, this is from obviously lunchtime on the 25th. So is this just a safe photo? Who can say? Who can say? Maybe she just wanted to go through her camera roll. Let's see. There's a very funny profile name. N-word F slur says, Rackets thinks this makes him look cool, but it's just embarrassing because he's gloating about ruining his family and marriage for a 5 out of 10. And depending on how you look on how bad the infection is, take 1 point off from there. And then they posted the picture of the house. Of course, we did the house tour, which was amazing. And they have the Summer's Eve Spa calming, luscious watch for balancing pH. But yes, the smelly vagina arc that we got when we did the house tour. The house tour. That was probably my favorite little arc in this entire story. I don't think we'll be seeing something as crazy as that again, unless the body cam does come out soon. But who can say? Who can say? Now, let's see. We're going to scroll up a bit more. And looking for the Aaron one. Let's see. Let's see. She went on there's like a massive amount of tweets today. Here it is. Here it is. So someone said, forgive a past lover today, ape. And then she says, posting a picture of Aaron sitting in I guess a Crown Royal seat with a little drink in his hand, maybe a Negroni or something, who can say? Says, I forgive this man. Even if some of the things he does is really shitty, I still understand the good parts of him and hate the others. He's a human being and I forgive him. Aaron Eamholt, I forgive you. But that doesn't mean I won't have fun at your expense. I know you love a good bit. Is the Aaron comeback arc making, like, is she going back to Aaron? Is she daydreaming about the past days? I don't know. This is a bit weird. If Nick stole your wife, basically, and this guy has a show every day where he talks about his life, I don't know if Nick's going to be too happy posting these pictures of Aaron. I guess what can you say? But it's another win for the toe. Who can say? Who can say? Now, let's see. I'd love to hear about your goals. I'd love to tell you about them really soon. She's been responding to Breaking Baldo all day. And I think there's a couple other really weird ones. So it's one where she get lost in the woods. I want to check that one out. Another win for the, yeah, it's another win for the toe. What can you say? What can you say? Now, here we go. Nick said, let the music play. He won't get away. And then April responds, just keep the groove and then he'll come back to you again. Posting song lyrics at each other. Very, very cute, very adorable. Young love, now that they've gotten rid of the Star Trek enjoyer, I suppose. But let me see. Dan Host Nice Podcast Stupid said, I've always found you prettier, smarter, and cooler than Kayla. Oh, no. I hope you get everything you want. Team April. April responds, she's still pretty. She is still smart, and she is still cool. One is not better than the other, but we do need to love ourselves and our partners, not just the idea of them. What does she mean by that? They're partners? Is she talking about Nick or is she talking about Aaron? Surely it'd be about Nick. Now, there's another one where they bring up the cover, which I still don't understand the meaning of the word cover. Someone tried to explain it to me, I think, but I'm not sure if anyone really knows. Now, allegedly, it was made up by Kayla. And at some point, April in these tweets goes over and says that she hates the name. It was a stupid name, and she's glad she doesn't have to use it anymore. Which, again, is another piece of evidence suggesting that maybe Kayla has disappeared. It's kind of hard to keep track of all these women names. 2 is definitely too many women in a relationship. Let me see. Rekieta said, the thing about me, I'd find a way to have fun in prison. You can't have fun anywhere because you're a nerd. Get beat up and stuffed in a locker, you fucking nerd. This is a very strange comment from a man that said that Aaron could beat him up. And a very skinny, very frail, 160 pounds, wet. Very embarrassing. Like the idea of him stuffing anyone in a locker is just ridiculous. He got stood on at Anime Matsuri by weeb women. There's no way he's going to be able to do that. There's no way. Now, let's see. Does the one... I'm trying to see if I can find the one with the one where she mentions the cover. Which, again, still doesn't make sense to me. Breaking Border News posted, Rekieta household alert is evidently clear from many instances of omission throughout last night. Kayla Rekieta is not in the good graces of rekietalaw in April. Oh, no. They openly admit to the polycule, something that would deeply embarrass the religious Kayla Rekieta. Anyone asking about her well-being are insulted and banned by rekietalaw. And last but not least, last night on Nick's local stream, he struggled to talk about the bracelet Kayla had given him, stopping himself, we believe, from talking about an anniversary gift. Instead, to state that it's complicated. Let's see what this is.
I'm not going to be in the mood to help people out. I'm not going to be in the mood to help people out.
And I like that there's a little bit of coke in the kitchen. Very, very cute. Very dirty countertop, covered with shit.
Or whatever. Because it's exhausting helping people only to have them try and fuck you over and over and over again.
Now, I did notice that he's wearing 2 wedding rings. As you know, I'm a very much a hand observer. I'm sorry I can't turn it up. That's as loud as it goes. The local stream quality is very bad because it streams on the phone. But you can see here he's got his blue ring, and he seems to have a second ring on his other hand. I guess it's his second wife ring. Who knows? Maybe it's the swinger ring. But when he brings up his hand a little bit, you can see. There we go. Oh shit! You can't. Can you go frame by frame? I guess you can't on Twitter. That's annoying. Let's try and bring it back up. You can see here he's got his cute little word bracelet. You know, with the little letters that you put the string through it. Little friendship bracelet. Very, very cool attire from a very cool man, and definitely not a nerd. Very, very, very cool to see. Look at that. But in response to that, she said, if you've never actually read the stories of the Bible, you'd see what you were wrong about here. It wouldn't take too long, but maybe you're bad at reading and comprehension. Well, I certainly am. So I know what it's like. Now, a lot of these posts, looks like some posts she responded to were being deleted, but she goes into a lot of details. And I was just seeing if I could find... Hold on, let me see if I can just search for this. I don't know what will come up if I search from... If I search for... I think she spelled it with a Q? Or maybe that post was deleted. I don't know. I was looking for the one where she talks about the cover being a stupid name that she hated. But they had some very silly names for their entire little gang. She spelled it Q-U-O-V-R, right? Or was it with no over? Can't seem to find it. Maybe it's deleted. Quiver? Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe like the quiver, like quiverful or something. But it didn't seem to make much sense to me. So yeah, that's why I searched for Q over. I searched for those variations. I couldn't find it. It might be there, or maybe Twitter's situation is very good. But anyway, it's not too important because I remember what it said. Basically, she hated the name, and she's glad that she doesn't have to say that she's part of the cover anymore. And that would imply that there's only 2 people in the relationship, which seems a bit strange. Anyway, let's see. If we jump over to Nick's timeline. Okay, so this is where it starts for Nick as well. She was having by the way, because we haven't talked about Nick for about a month or it's like 3-4 weeks, something like that. About a month. I think October 9th or something was the last time we did. He got into a fight with Brianna Wu. He got absolutely destroyed by Brianna Wu, who, if you don't know, is a bit of a lunatic in herself. But anyway, so since she came back from that, he decided to come back and block Breaking Baldo News when he talked about the files. We're going to go through the files. I think the order is Twitter, files, and then the video stuff. That's probably what the show will be today. Now, let's see. Oh, look at this one. So Kobe Lee was saying, and I think it was in response to this photo. So April posted on Instagram, legitimately lost in the woods right now and can't find my way home. I'm inclined not to care. So some people were concerned about this, that maybe she was going out to look for poor Mama JF. But some people said that they were concerned about her well-being and maybe they should contact for a wellness check. Now, in response to that, Nick said, pay attention to your own life. God, you people are so embarrassing. Get cancer. Look, you got to be careful with the comment, get cancer. It didn't work out very well for TB. God rest his soul. I miss TB. Total Biscuit. Great guy. Great guy. Did a lot for the StarCraft community. Let's see. Someone said LOL could have told you that during the depth trial. I think this is in regards to. Oh yeah, there's a whole. Sorry, there's a lot of fun little memes I'm discovering here. So this is Get Lost Nerd. Someone posted this one, the denied motion. You're blocked, and then there's Lamol Cuck. And then Nick said, I'm blocking nerds because I'm tired of being barked at by fucking nerds. Only cool people get to talk to me. If you get blocked, it'll probably just remind you of growing up. Okay? That's a weird thing to say. And then he says, tag fucking nerds all you want. And then someone said, at the legal mindset, Nick Rekieta, because Andrew blocked Nick a couple weeks ago. And Nick said that he was a pussy for blocking him. So interesting how the worm has turned. So this is all, this is in regards to Andrew. And he has a bit of a see that Andrew later that we'll check out. He says, oh my God, what did you hang out with that fool? He was always so cringe. It's even worse because he thinks he's cool, but he's a massive dork. So we see a lot of projection here. And then he says, lol, could have told you that during the depth trial. And that's where we got to. And he says, it's funny because deep down, he knows he's still a loser, just like when he had to run away to another country. I guess because Andrew moves around the world. One of the most dishonest people on LordTube. How's his Ladyboy Luncheon channel going? All right, that is funny. Nick does say funny things from time to time. Ladyboy Luncheon channel. Holy shit. Andrew's doing very well. I can only assume that this is pure sour grapes and jealousy, because I think that the last time I saw Andrew's channel, which I see it every couple of days, right? He usually gets like 2,000-3,000 live viewers concurrent, kind of what Rekieta was getting before his decline. So basically, Andrew is where Nick was, and he's only growing. Now, the VTuber stuff, not necessarily for me, but he's doing very well, very successful, and a lot of growth, unlike Nick's channel. His local stream was to about 80 people, by the way, and 70 of them were A-logs, so it's a little bit embarrassing. He really lucked out on getting those locals yearly subscriptions, because he would have lost a lot of local supporters if he didn't charge them up front. But Ladyboy Luncheon channel is pretty funny, though, I have to admit. Let me see. But interestingly enough, someone posted this picture of Nick from his Twitch Thought stream. This is when he did, I think it was a celebratory stream for like 5,000 or 10,000 subscribers on Twitch. He did a thought stream where he dressed up in a Sailor Moon t-shirt with fairy lights, stuffed plushies, hot pants, and thigh-high socks. And it was a joke. Like, it was like imitating a Twitch streamer that was making fun of people for not donating enough. They'd be saying, like, you can't give $1 fucking dollar. Like, why don't you go work in minimum wage or something? But this is a very funny and cool joke, according to Nick. As you can see, he says, yeah, get lost, you fucking nerd. Learn to have a little fun in your life and tell a joke or two. Now, Nick is a very, very good joke observer. This is going to come back as we go through these tweets. Let's see. Rantman says, Rekietalaw have fun in prison. Nick responds, the thing about me is I find a way to have fun in prison. I'm sure he would have a lot of fun in prison. There is a lot of replacement Baldo options in there in the prison, as I understand it. Let me see. We might need to do a wellness check on Lady Racket. Sounds like these two are up to something. Mind your own business, you worthless trash heap. Now, this is, again, happening concurrently with the April tweets, and also a very funny Breaking Baldo tweet. Here it is. Where's Kayla? The Breaking Baldo. Very, very funny. Very funny. Now, I assume that April... I think that Kayla's still at the house. I think that she just doesn't want to be on the internet, which is fine. and that she's just like in her Deep Space Nine comatose state, watching the same episodes over and over, where Cisco commits domestic terrorism against the what are they? Shit, not the Kardashians. The Kardashians? The Kardashians are the evil ones, right? They didn't do nothing. Gul Dukat didn't do nothing wrong. That's my stance. That's my stance. The reason I say that Kayla's still there is because I think she's in too deep. I don't think she's got anywhere to go. She's got mum of 5 kids. She's got no real skills. She's addicted to Star Trek and CBDs, gummies. So if she quits, she has to get a job or shit, right? I guess you could get child support payments with 5 kids. That'd be pretty profitable, but who can say? But I think she's still in the house. Until I see the divorce papers, I don't believe that she's gone. But I've been wrong before, so who can say? But a very funny post. But people started to really wonder about this, and to the point where allegedly, now here we go. Okay, April, this is getting too crazy, and this is in regard to the out in the woods thing. Says, okay, April, I think this is getting too crazy. Nick has clearly cut you off from the rest of the world. No one has heard from Kayla. I'm on the phone right now with Wilmar PD, so don't get freaked out if they call or try to show up. So Nick says, you are scum. Get fucked. Leave us alone, you ugly pile of trash. It's television. You have no interest in any of us. You are not here to save us. You are disgusting. Then Kobe Lee responded saying, people in April's lives are worried about her. Her family is worried about her. They, I guess they mean the officer felt assured me that he'll be both seeing Nick and April real soon. And then he says, this cunt called the fucking police over someone's tweets. I hope he gets ass cancer and dies. Now, Officer Felt is a real name. Jim Felt was one of the officers that was in the arrest of Rekieta. Very funny, meme magic actually happening. Hard to believe, but true. Now, the funny thing is, I'm not sure if it shows it right here, but I think if I go to Kobe Lee's Twitter, you've got to be careful. You got to be careful when you're running through tweets because, random stuff that shows up. But at some point, Kobe Lee says it was all a joke. So Nick usually can usually detect jokes anytime, but this apparently was all just a funny and weird, perhaps weird joke. But Nick took it very seriously. So maybe the cops did show up, or maybe someone actually called. Who can say? Who can say? It wouldn't surprise me if there was people out there that were generally very concerned, because it is October, and like this time last year, Mama JF went missing. So it's not outside the realm of possibility. Look, the sector is a dangerous place to be. Coach Red Pill, dead, and now he's a monument in Russia. Killed by the Ukrainians. Mama JF, Potato Mama, diced and fried up. And perhaps JF's other girlfriend as well. So October's a dangerous time, is all I'm saying. You never know what can happen. You think it's too crazy. But the reality is that, like, we've seen it happen before, and we might see it again. And that brings us to the end. That brings us to the end of Nick's tweets. And I might scroll up on the Breaking Ball and see if there's any funny things here too as we go through. Scarebro with a 10 starting off the donos. Thank you very much. Says, sounds like the meltdown may be related to Nick no longer being immune to wellness checks or swatting now that he's got felony charges. Maybe Nick has something to flush, has to flush something expensive quickly. Possibly. I think that something happened. Like either it's dawned on him the reality of how close the court dates are, because the next 2 days, everybody's going to be looking at the results of the omnibus hearings for both Kayla and April. And just based on what Nick's filings were like, well, actually, Kayla and April's filings are better than Nick's filings. They look like they were actually written by someone competently. And Nick actually goes out and attacks his lawyer a little bit in the Cope stream he did on Locals yesterday. He's like, well, at least this one is good. Because his appeal document, while it's almost certainly not going to work, it is more competently written. There's what we can say about it. But thank you for the 10. But I think it's like he's just dawning on him how close these dates are. He's only got a month left, basically, before he actually has to put in either guilty or not guilty or take the plea. And based on the filings that he's done, I would say that he hasn't taken a plea. Because there's actually a good breakdown by Uncivil Law, and he talks a bit about how the filing is really weird, and we'll talk about that in a second when we get to the files as well. But usually when you take, or typically when you take a plea deal, you give up your ability to if you take a plea deal, you give up your ability to appeal. Is usually part of the terms. So it's very unlikely that he has taken a plea deal, which is unfortunate because he really should. Trigger Rob says, glad to see Nick is taking everything so well. Thank you for the 2. Much appreciated. Oh, and you know what? I missed a member chat. Says, EA, member for 2 months, says, Nick, like Tomlinson, is now reacting to bait tweets. Yeah, he needs to get off the internet. Like, he's really getting bullied a lot. And he can't take the heat. He's addicted to it. Like, you'll hear him say that he's too busy to watch other people's content. But then he'll be like, well, all Sean does is do model building streams because he's a nerd. How would he know that Sean's doing these streams if he isn't watching what people are saying? It's very obvious that he's completely glued 24/7 to a screen, either his phone or computer. I'd say his phone probably. Just sitting on the couch refreshing Kiwi Farms every other minute. It was actually kind of funny because he announced his local stream and the few Baldo supporters left were very excited. And then he just didn't stream for hours. It was a super late stream. I think he started at 4 a.m. Minnesota time. So everyone was disappointed. Then he came out and people were suggesting that the only reason he started streaming is that because Kiwi Farms went down for a few minutes and he couldn't read his thread. So he had to go into the internet to talk about people. But there you go. Now, let me see. There was a lot of posts to go through, but a lot of cringe posting. But this is a good one to start with. So Elissa Clips posted saying, get your views in from last night's stream while you can, because Elissa had posted, she had quite a lot of content of Nick's streams, and she's removed them all now, about 16 videos. But go over to her channel. Shout out to Elissa Clips. She did preemptively warn me that I should get any of the clips that I want before they go, but they're all gone. She's removed them all. She has negotiated with the terrorists, and Nick has taken everything down. So getting your views from last night's stream while you can. Rekietalaw has officially fallen. I know you rely on me to provide this content, but unfortunately in the future I won't be able to clip the same as I have been for his local exclusive streams. Sorry about that. So this is a direct message from Nick directly to Elissa, where it says, you do not have my permission to clip my locals exclusive content. Take it down by tomorrow or I will. So threatening a copyright strike. I also rescind my permission to clip my content. Play by fair use if you're going to do it. Now, Nick tried to come back on this later in the stream, later in the day. He said, I just told her not to do my locals exclusive content. But this message clearly shows that any content that is clipped in the way that she has been doing. Now, unfortunately, Nick does have the right to do this. It is, let me be frank, it's a really shit move because he did give permission. And you know what? We'll watch the clip. I think it's, we'll watch this clip. This is Elissa Clips on Rekietalaw approved. And this is from 2 years ago, December 29th, 2022. Let's take a quick look and see what the young Nick used to say. The old Nick, the Nick that we missed.
Elissa Clip says, Nick cuck agree. Elissa, what am I agreeing to? Yes, I agree. What is it? For anybody out there who's like, I there was some talk I saw earlier about like me and Elissa fighting or something. I don't know if Alyssa's fighting with me. I don't think so. But if she is, cool.
There's a little I'm not right there, though. I actually think, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Elissa start as a Rekieta fan? Like she was originally posting like positive Nick clips. But then Nick started to go off the rails and she was just posting what people are interested in. So it's not like she really ever hated Nick. At least not until recently. That was my perception of the issue anyway.
I have no problem with Elissa Clips or any other clip channel. Look, I talked about this the other day. There are some times when you go as a creator, you're like, fuck, clip channels, man. They make everything exist forever. Like sometimes you have that. But that's more lamenting the reality. Like clip channels will make shit exist, or they'll take things and it's out of the context that I think it should be in or whatever, but people see things differently. That's okay. I'm not fighting with any clip channel. I'm not striking any clip channel. I'm not telling any clip channel what to do ever. And Elissa.
So that was a fucking lie. So that was a lie.
Has always had and will always have my permission to clip the show, to clip the local streams, whatever she deems.
That's interesting. I actually didn't realize that he'd given complete permission for even local streams. I knew that he'd given permission for YouTube, but that's actually locals is a surprise too. But I guess he's rescinded that offer. Now he can do this, of course, even though he says I give permission forever. He can retroactively retract his consent, unfortunately.
will be a good clip. That's it. So hopefully we can put that fucking shit to bed. People make a lot out of a little. But no, I have no problems with clip channels existing. I don't have any problem with what they do.
Until they get a little bit too critical, right? We've heard it all before.
Elissa, okay.
We've heard it all too many times. It's all good and well until they talk about me. How very sad. Now, there was some things I saw that people were saying that because it was behind a local's paywall, that changes the calculus. It doesn't. The idea that because something is on your regular YouTube channel where it's free to view versus being behind a paywall makes no difference for fair use. Now, Elissa's clips, in my opinion, are not fair use. But it didn't matter until this time because Nick had given her permission to do so. Now, there is changes in this clip. Like he's edited a bit. She's got a different title. And people often bring up this Sargon versus Aquila, obviously. That I wouldn't take as a guarantee for every court case that would, if this actually went to court, which it won't. Because it's much easier to just remove the clips and just get on with your life. Nobody has time for these lawsuits. They're very expensive, right, Nick? $200,000 owed to your lawyer for Monty, is it? But I actually have a video. If you're curious about it, it's called on my channel. It's called "This is Fair Use" and it's how to make transformative use content on YouTube. If you're curious about fair use, I'd recommend going to check out this video. It's from 2 years ago, back when I kind of first started my channel. It's very informative, I think, and I think it's a very good video. And I think I have a very experienced knowledge of fair use, particularly because, like I said, you can make fair use content out of paywalled stuff because what is paywalled? Movies, TV. And that's kind of the bread and butter that I've made on YouTube is that I've done like my Rings of Power videos and Velma, things like that. Even though I did get a copyright strike for the Velma content, I appealed it and won because I knew what I was doing with fair use. Now, if Elissa wants to put a little bit more editing into this, like the Third World Aristocrat video we saw at the start, where it's like Nick versus Nick, that is fair use. And now, is Nick butthurt enough that he might copyright strike her anyway and might take her channel down anyway because sometimes the YouTube gods just don't smile on you favorably? That's a risk. That's a risk. But what can Elissa do now? I guess she can't upload the original Rekieta content like we've been used to, which is actually bad for Nick, in my opinion. First of all, clip channels are very good for the ecosystem because more people see your shit. Second of all, now she can only upload fair use content that has Nick's content in it, which means that she can upload content of people watching Nick's clips and reacting to it and injecting their commentary in it. So Legal Mindset, Aaron Eamholt, my stuff, she can do those clips. And because the content that I'm doing now is my intellectual property, because I've transformed it by making commentary, by criticism, and just injecting myself into this is what I've made this original Nick clip into my clip, or I guess it's Elissa's clip actually, but that's how it works, right? That's how you transform things. It becomes yours. So what Nick has essentially done by banning the pure content from his channel is that now every piece of Rekieta content, if she just chooses to go forward and upload it, maybe she just walks away. She's got other things she can do, right? There's other people to clip. But if she decides to go forward, then it's just going to be like Kino Casino or Legal Mindset, like tearing Nick apart. So every clip that is of Nick on her channel will be pure negative content with no neutral stance. Like when you put a Nick clip up by itself, it's neutral, right? Most people look at it and take it negatively, but some of his fans will see that and go, okay, I see this is reasonable. But now every clip with Nick is going to have the commentary of someone else who's going to be more likely than not criticizing Nick. So it's just going to be a disaster. And not only, just think of the optics. It's a complete reversal on his own stance. The complete hypocrisy. It's a bad move. When you get to this point, it's like you're not very far away from being like, I guess he's already log color of the year. So I don't know. It's like it's the beginning of the end, I would say, when you start to get to this stage. Every time he comes online, he's going to be criticized for it. People are going to be hounding him for revenge. And now that he's shown that he can be hurt by this, people are going to do it more. He can't copyright strike from jail. Well, I guess that's true. That is the one caveat, I suppose. Yes, you can't copyright from jail. So she's going to have to wait until November, I suppose. But obviously a bit longer than that. Like next trial is probably going to be in like February, March or something. Is realistically like the next hearing or the next trial where they have to enter the plea is in November, and then they'll probably set a trial date from then. But who can say? And but I should be thanking Cindy Collins with 5 memberships. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Wait, can I give out free memberships as well? I think usually I can get free ones. Oh, I can't do it. Can I not do that? Membership gifting. I don't know. Sometimes YouTube lets you do it. Sometimes they don't. But if this stream gets 400 likes, I'll see if I can get some more. I'll get some more gifts going. Scarebro says April hasn't filed any pretrial motions. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. She doesn't have the best lawyer, I would say. And he also said, friendly twos, like many, Elb, that's Elissa, fell off around the ass bottle and hedonism too. Yeah. I think that's kind of when I tuned out as well. It was kind of like post the Johnny Depp trial. I think that's like the last time I can really remember really watching in a positive manner. But I just kind of tuned out, and I was just going to like quietly disappear. It wasn't until the actual arrest that I decided to kind of jump into the fray. So I guess I was a bit late to the party on that one at least. Now, where should we go from here? Should we go to this, or should we go to some of the memes? Let me see. There was a post by Null of the Kiwi Farms. Let's try and zoom this in a bit. It says, the nerd shit is such projection. This dude's biggest insecurity is being uncool. Oh, man, there's a naughty word in there. Nick was a male cheerleader, watches Japanese cartoons, talks to anime charges on stream. I guess he means anime peoples, right? But that's true. Nick owns a DVD copy of Redo of the Healer, which is a terrible anime, by the way. It's just a harem slop, but it is what it is. He actively engages in comic book discourse, is a lawyer, and pays money for memes and movie characters as paintings. Yes, he's got the Johnny Depp memes and the Joker. I think, someone said that he signed it, the Joker as himself. I don't know if that's true. I think that's a bit of a tall tale. Now he's in court getting bullied by jock cops while the whole internet watches and laughs. Must trigger some high school memories. Someone find that picture of him sucking off the mic while dressed as Sailor Moon and slap a big fat nerd on that beard, on that nerd. It's unreal. He cares so little about his own audience that he eats into the mic while recording, by the way. Yes, there's a lot of chewing noises. But it's very true. It's very true. People forgot that lawyers were very much reviled. Basically until LawTube started, and it's like, hey, look, we're actually interesting people. Lawyers have always been the butts of jokes, and they've always been seen as like slimy and nerdy and just generally unliked. Nobody really wants a lawyer involved. If a lawyer's involved in you with some way, you know it's going to be a bad time. But then like LawTube started, and it's kind of fun. Like it's like, hey, look, they like to drink whiskey. They like to have fun. They like to make jokes about people, and they kind of changed the image. LawTube gave lawyers for the first time a place where they could be admired and appreciated. And there are some lawyers, some I assume are good people that you could appreciate and admire, but it's a very much a case-by-case basis. And some lawyers have done very, very well for themselves on YouTube. Specifically, I think the biggest one right now is Emily DeBaker. She's done very well. She's got like 20,000 live viewers on her streams. It's incredible. MLS is an all right guy. He's got a little treehouse. It's kind of neat. Obviously, Legal Mindset's doing pretty good, but he's got that VTuber stuff, so I don't know about that. Nah. Every time I see VTuber content, it's just like screaming and noise, and I can't really listen to that for too long. It kind of blows up my eardrums. But yeah, just you can enjoy the people you like to watch, but just remember that they are people too, and they do have their own faults. All right. I saw this meme, was very good. Someone stole this from the farms. Very funny. A classic meme, re-envisioned for the 90s, or I guess the 2020s. Nerds, they could be here, he thought. I've never been in this neighborhood before. There could be nerds anywhere. The cool wind felt good against his bare chest. I hate nerds, he thought. Sweet dreams are made of these, reverberated his entire car, making it pulsate, even as the high-dollar whiskey circulated through his powerful neck veins and washed away his merited fears of nerds after dark. With a car, you can go anywhere you want, he said to himself out loud. Very, very cool. Very cool little meme. Those gas prices. It was a better time. It was a better time. All right. Let us get into... Actually, I'll leave Elissa Clips channel because I might reference it for a bit later. So this is the new documents that were submitted. All right. So it's the Minnesota State Court of Appeals. Now, Nick has said from the beginning that appeals are for losers, and he's right. They are. And he even mentions this himself. Now, this is a petition for a discretionary review. This is a very weird filing. It's literally at the judge's discretion. So maybe they go through and say, you know what, you did deserve a Franks hearing, but we didn't like that you filed this right now, so you don't get it. The reason it's very weird and untimely is that courts have their own sort of procedure and their own little culture and their own little timelines. And typically you don't appeal until you lose the case. And Nick hasn't lost the case yet, although it's a foregone conclusion at this point, really, in my opinion, based on the evidence of him having all the drugs, based on them finding all the drugs, based on the warrant being valid, and based on him admitting to the drugs on Twitter. So it's very strange to bring in at this time, but it does happen from time to time in very, very serious cases, though. But let's get into it. And Nick himself has said that this is basically a doomed filing. He doesn't believe it has any chance whatsoever, and he's just throwing shit against the wall to see what sticks. Yeah, it's a Hail Mary play. It's only about 10 pages long. So we're going to go through this pretty quickly, and then we'll take a look at the Cope stream. But be sure to like the stream if you do want to see more of this content. So let's see. To the Court of Appeals in the state of Minnesota, the defendant, Nicholas Rekieta, requests, pursuant to Minnesota criminal conduct, the Minnesota Court of Appeals exercises its discretion to review the order of the district court and requests that the honorable court grant this petition for discretionary review. Statement of facts. All right, let's see. I love facts. I love the facts. The Kandiyohi County Sheriff Office opened a criminal investigation into the defendant to secure a search warrant at issue on this case. Deputy Quinn Pomplum, hereinafter Pomplum, he hates this guy. Oh, that naughty deputy / detective Pomplum. He got away with so much. He can't keep getting away with it. Knowingly and willfully deceived and misled the signing judge through his application for the search warrant filed on May 22nd, 2024. Pomplum based his application on 3 distinct indices, none of which defendant argued were truthful or sufficient for a warrant of issue. Now, that actually just reminds me for a second, but Nick claims, this is a very interesting little, silly little detail. He claims that Cog's video, so Cog re-uploaded Nick's entire 4 hours, 4 minutes, 4 second stream. He re-uploaded to his entire channel, and he claimed that it wasn't his video because it was altered. That Cog added a watermark, which wasn't true. It was an overlay that is added by YouTube. Now, Nick claims that this makes his video, or this makes the video not his video. It's a different video. So then how come Elissa's clips videos are all his intellectual property if they've got any of her changes or any of the watermark that she added to them? Of course, they are his intellectual property, just as Cog's video is his intellectual property. Even if somebody re-uploaded it, you just automatically own it. If I make a video and you re-upload it without any changes, it's still my video. I still own it. It's still my intellectual property. But again, it just shows you a little bit of his hypocrisy in this case. So let's see. A report received on May 16th alleges possible child neglect and controlled substance use. Well, both of these were confirmed, basically. Defendant, in his motion for Frank's hearing, alleged that Pomplum had failed to disclose the judicial officers the existence of a May 20th letter sent to the Kandiyohi County Health Services, hereinafter KCHHS, informing that the May 16th report does not fit the definition of child abuse or neglect, but they just have to get Aaron to make them SpaghettiOs, but it's not neglect, okay? And they're being smelly and hungry in church, and they're asking the police officers for clothes. Yeah, it's not neglect, though. As defined in the Minnesota statutes of reporting of maltreatment. This was 2 days prior to Pomplum's application for a search warrant. Defendant alleged that Pomplum's failure to inform the judicial officers of the prior determination is material as the initial predicate for seeking a warrant and had already been deemed insufficient by the very county agency charged with protecting children, preventing the judicial officer from approaching a warrant application with necessary facts to authorize the intrusion upon defendant's home and response. A video made by Aaron Emotep, hereinafter Emotep. No, just kidding. Was allegedly detailed drug use by the defendant. That is the Coke stream. That is the Coke, where he comes back, has the white marks on his nose. Very clearly went out to do Coke and very erratic drug-induced behavior. Clear to see by even laymen. Defendant, in his motion for Frank's hearing, alleged that Pomplum had intentionally misled the district court in his application for a search warrant by suggesting that Emotep was a concerned citizen. Pomplum asserted that the defendant and I'll just call him Aaron from now on. He did shout out my stream tonight, so I should at least give him that. Defendant and Aaron had recently had a falling out. Yeah, recently had a falling out is a little bit of an understatement. You did steal his wife. He may be slightly miffed after that happened. Defendant alleged that this was an intentional misrepresentation by Pomplum. In the May 22nd video blog by Aaron, referenced by Pomplum, Aaron makes it clear that his relationship with the defendant had degraded far beyond a mere falling out. Aaron, starting at 1 hour and 4 minutes, states, "Peace, brother, is not what Nick told me when I said I would not be hanging out with them anymore. The text I got was something about what a flabby, misshapen, doughy piece of shit I am, and the world would be a better place if I deleted myself." Holy. Now, this is very funny because, like, this is absolutely Nick's character. On public, on stream, he's always like, "Peace, brother. You know, if you don't like me, that's fine, but I got no problem with nobody, man. It's all copacetic. It's all love and thing." But then behind the scenes, like when Yellow Flash is like, "Dude, you got to pull up," he's like, "Just fucking kill yourself, Flash. You don't know what you're talking about." Very concerned with his public image. And Ewa Robinson gifted 1 membership. Thank you very much. And also the Pie Baker for 5 says, "Request for poll before drowning Kayla next to the before drowning Kayla next to the skunk. Did Nikki have a little bit of a nibble?" That's a good old reference to the old Nick streams when he drowns skunks because he doesn't know how to deal with them in his pond. And the nibble was from a person that cut up a body and like tried to burn them in like in a fireplace, I think it was. And he was always asking, like, "Do you have a nibble?" That was a very funny old meme back when the show was entertaining. Some people say that like Nick was never entertaining or the show was never good. That's just not true. You don't have to pretend that history doesn't exist and rewrite everything. That used to be a good show and it changed. And now it's not. There's nothing wrong with that. Just like the Kill Stream used to be a good show and now it's shit unless Ralph's absolutely off his gourd and then it's funny, but for the wrong reasons. Aaron said yes. Then at 106 states that he communicated to Nick, "Okay, addict," and then Aaron blocked the defendant's number. Pomplum intentionally admitted this from his affidavit that Emolt had made several threats ranging from thinly veiled to full-throated against defendant. Emolt stated at 102, "Nick, sweetie baby, first of all, get help. Second of all, you better hope. And as I said last night, you better pray to God. I don't say what I want. If I say what I want, motherfucker, that's Mount Vesuvius. Let's make a quick rule for Nicky Boy here. You need to keep my name out of your fucking mouth in ways like that. I can promise I'll be as good a boy as I can." It's interesting. You could kind of see the time frame this all happens based on the memes in the text. You got your Will Smith memes in there. Very, very neat. Very neat. Look back in history, meme history, as it were. Aaron then proceeded, starting at 103, to compare himself to Lefty Rosenthal. I don't know who's that. Lefty Rosenthal. Who's that? Am I a pleb that doesn't know who that is? Someone in chat tell me who that is. Popularly analyzed as Ace Roston Films' Casino. I have never seen Casino. That makes sense. And stated that you want to keep a guy like that happy, right? Because he could blow your shit right up. Aaron made this comparison and similar threats at multiple points throughout the video. Lefty's a mobster? Okay. I've never seen Casino. I've seen Casino Royale. Is it the same thing? Pomplum misrepresented both to the extent of the falling out between Aaron and defendant, and Aaron overt personal animus, bringing his statements well outside the realm of those of a concerned citizen. I mean, he's very concerned. He's very concerned. He's a lobster. Shut up. Sorry. We're going to learn about how we're all joyless people in a few minutes. Oh man, maybe I should intersperse this with some of the clips. Like, this is pretty short. It's only like 10 pages, so we'll be through this pretty quick, I think. A video supposedly made by defendant Nick, in which white powdery substance was said to be present on the defendant's note. Well, the Nick was supposedly made by. Yes, it was Nick's video. I know you have to say that, but come on now. Come on now. Defendant in his motion for Frank's hearing alleged Pomplum materially misrepresented that he had been able to review the video that was taken off of Nicholas' YouTube and Rumble social media sites. Pomplum stated that the video was taken off the social media sites. This was a misrepresentation, as those videos were placed in a private status on each platform, except for the one he left up on Odyssey because apparently he forgot his password. I think it's still there to this day. which actually proves the validity of the video, and you can compare it to the one on Cog's channel, as we did, and we pixel peeped, and we found out that there was no discernible difference, even at the minutia of the actual pixels being as big as apples. So very surprising that Cog had that money for the extra internet. I think that's expensive in the UK, right? But he uploaded the full quality copy, so good for him. Defender alleged that if a user attempts to access the video link of each of these social platforms, they are informed that the video is private and the user must have special permission to access the video. For Pomplom to have able to be reviewed the original YouTube video, he would have had to have served a warrant on Alphabet Inc. That's Google's parent company, of course. The warrant had not been produced in discovery and would be a potential Brady violation. Well, spoiler alert, it wasn't, and the judge agreed. Pomplom stated that on May 22nd, Aaron did a video blog where he talked about Nicholas and insinuated controlled substance use, and also referenced a video blog that Nick put online on the 21st and had since been taken off the internet, except for on the Odyssey account. People keep forgetting about this. It's right there. I'm pretty sure it's right there right now. I can even check if I felt so inclined. Aaron claims that starting at 55 minutes in, the video blog, so this woman who clips a bunch of shit from my show, shout out to Elissa Clips, she made it into the court filing. Oh, should have used her real name, Aaron. How disrespectful. DM'd this to me. It was Nick telling a disjointed drunken story on his stream. Here's a clip that got me riled up. The accompanying clip that Emholt played on the blog is 1 minute and 11 seconds long. Pomplom stated that defendant's video is 4 hours and 4 minutes and 4 seconds long. Pomplom therefore knew the video represented by Emholt in his video blog is an altered rendition of Rekieta's video and cannot be authenticated, except it can be authenticated, and we did authenticate it, and it's exactly the same as the video, and it has not been altered in any way, and it's all cope. It's all cope. And the judge agreed, which is why the Franks hearing was denied. Denied. Pomplom failed to inform the judicial officer of the unknown provenance and unreliable nature of the edited video clip. More likely, Pomplom's assertion that he was able to review the video did not necessitate serving a warrant on Alphabet Inc. because Pomplom reviewed an edited version titled Nick Rekieta's Drunk Stream After Losing His Appeal. How is it an edited video? If you're talking about Cog's stream, where was the edit? There are no edits. Your video was 4 hours, 4 minutes, and 4 seconds long. Cog's video was 4 hours, 4 minutes, 4 seconds long. The color grading's the same. The speed is the same. You can go to the exact same frames, overlay them. It's a perfect match. There's no discernible difference. And it's because Cog did not transform it into a transformative piece of work, it is still your intellectual property. So while you say it is not your video, legally it is. It's actually your legal property. You could DMCA Cog right now if you so choose. But you probably won't because too busy being big depressed at 4 a.m. in Minnesota. But yeah, it's funny how that works. Even if you make a copy of it, it's still your property, especially when you don't transform it. So, unfortunately, if Elissa's clips are your clips, Cog's clip is, well, it's not even a clip; it's an entire video. But if Elissa's clips are your property that you can DMCA, so is the Cog stream. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Where were we? In discovery, the state produced a PowerPoint presentation that purports to be a clip of defendant's May 21st video, as well as an image purporting to be a screenshot of the same. Not only is this video differently titled, it came from a different YouTube channel, Backwards Internet. It's Cog in it. And was uploaded at a different time and date for the defendant's original. It also contains a watermark not present. Wrong. It does not. It's not a watermark. It's an overlay, and Cog disabled it to prove that case. Rare Cog W, actually. He originally had the YouTube overlay. Like if you're watching my stream right now on replay, you'll probably see like a little thing in the corner that says like subscribe. You can choose that to be your watermark, but it's not embedded in the video. And if you download a video, it doesn't have that. The same as ads. Ads are not embedded into the video. They're kind of like an overlay that YouTube plays in response. And you can test this yourself if you just download anyone's video from YouTube. So this is just completely false. It's completely false. It's a lie. And as a consummate video maker, Nick, of 7 years, I think, he should know this to be true. He should know this to be false, I should say. And I would say, well, it's not really perjury, but it is a big fucking fib. The watermark is open and notorious in the lower right-hand corner of the video. Well, you know what? Let's check. Let's check right now. Let's see if Cog has changed that video. Maybe he took it down. Who can say? Who can say? Let me see. Backwards internet is Cog's like second channel or something. Where is it? All right. Is it still up? Popular. I think it's his most popular. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. Okay. Okay. So this is the video on Cog's channel. Nick Rekieta's drunk stream after losing his appeal. Just under 7,000 views 5 months ago. Has it been 5 months already? Now, interesting. Let's have a look. Do you see a watermark? Oh no. Oh no, there's no watermark. Cog turned it off. He turned off the channel logo, which means that the watermark not present in the original video is not present at all. Oh my goodness. Even Cog's felt in Rekieta. How can it be so bad? The watermark is open and notorious in the lower left hand of the corner and appears to mimic the branding of the edited video's host channel. Pomplin did not review the original video. This was a misrepresentation of material fact to the judicial officer. Defendant filed a motion at Frank's hearing alleging that the various material representations noted above. After argument and additional briefing, the district court, the Honourable Stefan Wenzel, judge presiding over the defendants, denied defendant's motion 3 times. The district court held that the information contained in the application was accurate and reliable for the reviewing judge. There was no clear false statements, significant material omissions, or material misrepresentations that caused a search warrant to be false, misleading, or a violation of defendant's constitutional rights. As regards the video, the district court held that it is unclear if Deputy Pomplin viewed the video from the defendant's YouTube channel or from a third party. Even if the video of the defendant was a copy taken from a third party posting, there is no suggestion that the content itself was doctored, clipped, or altered, or otherwise changed. Yes. I think realistically what happened is Pomplin probably saw the original copy from Rumble, because the Rumble copy didn't go down the same time as the YouTube one. And then when searching for a copy, because it was already private, they found a backup copy. I would imagine that's how it went down. But it's not important because it's not materially different or altered in any way. The district court also noted that using social media video as supported for a warrant is somewhat unusual, and caution must be used to ensure that the altered video, parody, etc. are not used as support for a warrant. Well, it's not like it's an altered video. It's the same video. It's not AI. It's not parody. It's just what happened. We saw it happen. And yes, it may be unusual, but the world is always changing and laws have to reflect this current state of the world. So don't film yourself committing crimes, perhaps. However, the district court then found there is no indication that Deputy Pomplin did not watch the defendant's May video, nor is there any evidence that the video is altered, a parody, or otherwise inaccurate. However, defendant specifically alleged that Pomplin did not only not watch the defendant's video, but could not have watched it, and alleged that the video that he did watch, which had been produced in discovery, had been altered, and there was a material misrepresentation to have reported otherwise to the signing judicial officer. The petition follows. Statement of issue. Under Franks versus Delaware, and there, I'm going to skip through some of the legal mumbo-jumbo, try and make this a bit more watchable. Let me see. Don't really need this. Let's see. Did the district court err in not granting an evidentiary hearing when defendant demonstrated a plethora of evidence showing that Pomplin willfully made material misstatements to the court? Well, they haven't shown that, and it seems like they didn't. So where are these plethora of evidence showing that Pomplin willfully made material misstatements? Are they in the room with us now? I'm not sure. Why immediate review of an interlocutory or other non-appealable order is necessary? Let's see. The Minnesota Supreme Court has held that generally interlocutory appeals are disfavored and ordinarily only final judgments are appealing. This is why Nick's case, this filing is very weird. It's because he has to wait his turn, but he can't wait because he's got nothing else to do. He's bored. He's out of his mind. And I think Nick has admitted to having SAD before, seasonal affective depression. And it's, I guess, very cold in Minnesota now. So he's getting big SAD. So sitting around the house, got nothing to do at 4 a.m. The kids are asleep. The wives are asleep. Can't stream, I guess. Well, I guess he did do one stream. He's off his rocker. He's getting cabin fever. Perhaps that could be the impetus for the Coke stream. Well, not the Coke stream, but the Cope stream. In the interest of justice, this court may grant discretionary review of an order that is otherwise non-appealable. Well, they may, but they're not going to. Let's be real about this. In determining whether to grant discretionary review, the court considers a multi-factored test. These factors include whether the challenge ruling is vested in the district court's discretion, whether the ruling is questionable or involves an unsettled area of law, the impact of the ruling on the petitioning party's ability to proceed, the importance of the legal issue. Well, it's not very important for them, honestly. They probably get thousands of, well, not thousands, they probably got quite a few appeal requests, and like I said, appeals are for losers, and very rarely do they get them. So let's see. Whether appellate review would benefit from development of a more complete record of the ruling, or the ruling would be reviewable on appeal from final judgment. And the specific circumstances of the case, these factors are not exclusive, and this court has discretion to consider additional factors and circumstances that may apply to this particular case. These factors show that the review is now appropriate at this point. Well, they don't actually. You just want them to be. Very unfortunately, I should say. Like the reality is, and people think this isn't a big deal, and arguably it shouldn't be, but courts, judges, prosecutors, lawyers, they're all emotional. We like to pretend that we have this objective point of view, and that everything will be judged fairly. But the reality is that judges get pissed off, prosecutors get pissed off, and they start to become dicks in the system just to screw with you because you screwed with them. And when you have hours and hours of content where Nick is yelling at the judges, yelling at the prosecutors, saying he wants to drink fluids out of their orifices, and that he's gonna corner them in elevators and things and all sorts of crazy stuff, they're probably going to be a little bit less likely to give him a discretionary review just because he's being annoying. And in fact, he's already been kind of not censored, but there've been a little bit of a, hey, look, your filing has been pretty bad so far. They called up his lawyer and said, this is the wrong statute. You're being a bit of a silly boy here. And with their last minute filings and with all of their craziness, it seems like when he was denied the Franks motion, I inferred from that they were pretty pissed off with him, because they said, look, you didn't bring anything up at your omnibus hearing. You don't get anything until the next date. Sorry, you lose. Denied, denied, denied. It seems like they're already pissed off with him. So I don't think they're going to do him any favors. And you can definitely make the argument that they should take every consideration from a neutral standpoint. But the reality is that people don't operate like that. We're always influenced by our own biases. And let me see. Did I read this one? Pie Baker says, did I miss this one? The only time Michaela fed her kids was when Nick chopped her up and fed it to them. That's brutal. I'm not sure what's in your pies, but thank you for the $5. Let me see. Bob Tube, member of 1 month, says, can you do a toast to my wife's boyfriend, Aaron? It's another win for the toe. How about that? Unironically, a win for the toe has become a funny meme to me. I think it's very, very amusing. Aspen Fallen with 2 says, it's been unusually warm and sunny in Minnesota this fall. Oh, very nice. I love fall. Fall is the best time of year. It is very nice here in Japan. The autumn leaves are coming out. It's still shorts weather, but a little bit chilly. And you can go for hikes without just dying from sweating, because Japan has some brutal summers. But no, it's very nice recently. Although probably going to be rainy this week. Unfortunately, I have to go to the Chamber of Commerce tomorrow. So I can't enjoy the weather. I have to actually do some shit, which is very, very annoying for me. But thank you for the 2. Let me see. In this case, the challenge ruling is not wholly within the court's trial's discretion. The seminal case on the Franks issue in this state held that the clearly erroneous standard controls our review of the district court's findings on the issue, whether the affiant deliberately made statements that were false or in a reckless disregard for the truth, while the de novo standards control our review of a district court's determination of whether the alleged misrepresentations or omissions were material to the probable cause determination. Therefore, the issue as to what evidence is necessary to secure an evidentiary hearing when social media video evidence is questioned based on its modification, that it wasn't modified. It is not within the trial court's discretion. The ruling is questionable and involves an unsettled area of law. As noted above, the defendant specifically alleged that Palmer did not only not watch the defendant's May 21st video, but he could not have watched it. Well, how do you know he didn't watch it live? Maybe he was watching live. Maybe someone sent him a link and he got the second half of the stream or something. But could have not watched it and alleged that the video that he did watch, which had been produced in Discovery, had been altered. And it was a material misrepresentation to have reported otherwise to the signing judicial officer. The question of what must be shown in the social media video context to demonstrate unreliability has never been directly answered in the context of a Frank's motion. Well, I tell you what's going to happen here. This is my prediction, is that the judge might say, you know what? We have never brought this up as a matter of law. Why don't you appeal after your case is done? That's what's going to happen, in my opinion. They're going to say, you know what? Why did you wait until the proper time to file this? Why don't you wait until you've actually lost before you lodge your appeals and stop wasting our time? That's my... I'm like 99% sure that's what's going to happen on this one. I'd be willing to put money on this prediction. The impact of the petitioning party's ability to proceed is heavily in favor of granting review at this stage. Given the findings of fact made by the district court, it is possible the questioning of Pomplum regarding his veracity and accuracy in the application for the impeachment purposes would be disallowed. This would have an impact on defendants' trial strategy. The importance of the legal issue is significant and will only increase. The Minnesota Supreme Court has held that the appropriate ground for granting discretionary review is whether the question presented is troublesome or vexing. Well, if you want a troublesome or vexing defendant, you've got it with Rekieta. He's going to be reeing all the way to, I guess, the jailhouse. But he's like, let's be honest, he's not going to jail. He's probably going to get community service for like 2 years or some shit, and a very, very lengthy probation period. People disagree with this quite a bit, but the reality is that he's a provider for a family of 5. His first offense, it's non-violent. He's going to get deferment or something that isn't jail time. I can almost guarantee that. I'd be very surprised. The only way he's going to get jail time is if he actually argues for his own case, which would just make the judge furious and maybe make him set an example of him or something. If he just lets his lawyer do the work and stop interfering, stop objecting when it's not his turn to object, that'll be better. Just quit the hybrid representation out, Nick. Okay. Right. This is generally being constructed to mean that the question presented is both important and doubtful. The Minnesota Supreme Court has also cautioned that not every vexing question is important and doubtful. Determining whether or not the question is important depends on a weighing of probabilities. Importance increases with the probability that the resolution of the question will have a statewide impact of the probability of reversal. It increases with the length of proceedings terminated by reversal and with the amount of harm inflicted on the parties by a wrong ruling in a trial court. Conversely, importance decreases with the probability of affirmance and the probability that trial will moot the issue. The Supreme Court has determined that a question is doubtful only if there is no controlling precedent. The question is one of first impression, is not, however, of itself sufficient to be deemed doubtful. The question should be one on which there is substantial ground for a difference of opinion. As thorough search of reported cases in Westlaw seems to indicate, there is no such law on point discussing what quantum of evidence is sufficient for showing that social media video was sufficiently doctored to render the Frank's hearing necessary. It's just pension zoom. There's no difference. The COG video is exactly the same, and it's a waste of time. It's a waste of the court's money, and I guess rack up those debts, I suppose. I mean, maybe if he loses all his money on this case, he won't have to pay Montegraph. Who can say? Who can say? Is that his strategy? To felt to felt Monty by losing all his money on this one as well? I'm pretty sure, like, isn't he like $200,000 in the hole? That's what I heard. With because he hired Rendaza, the like most expensive defamation lawyer in the country, for an internet beef. He could have apologized to Monty, but no, he's gonna pay. He's gonna pay at some point. Who can say? Where were we? Conversely, the seminal case on Frank's issues in this state only heightens the probability that review on this issue will be lost if not reviewed now. Under that decision, the clearly erroneous standards controls our reviews of a district court's findings on the issue of whether the affiant deliberately made statements that were false or in reckless disregard of the truth, while the de novo standard review controls our review of the district court's determination on whether the alleged misrepresentations or omissions were material to the probable cause determination. In a decision after the trial has concluded, if a conviction is obtained, the Court of Appeals may not be able to look behind the facts as found to determine whether the facts as presented constituted sufficient cause to issue the warrant. The Minnesota State Supreme Court has also instructed that if a petition for discretionary review should not be granted unless reversal will obviate further proceedings. In this case, the criteria is easily met to the 90% certainty. I'm 90% certain that this is going to be laughed out of the courtroom. Should the Court of Appeals determine that the defendant had raised sufficient allegations concerning the warrant application, the evidentiary hearing would be held pursuant to Franks. Thus, a finding of the court would materially advance the litigation and likely lead to obviation of further proceedings on the merits. Finally, the public policy strongly suggests that the petition for discretion review be granted. The Minnesota Supreme Court has held that the policy of our state is to avoid piecemeal appeals that interrupt and delay litigation. I feel like this is exactly what this is designed to do. I feel like Nick is just pushing, kicking the can down the road with a lot of last minute filings, crazy applications like this one. It seems like it's just trying to push it, like, just give me 2 more months of freedom, just 2 more months of freedom. Just keep pushing it back. Maybe the internet will forget. Maybe they'll stop watching if I stop being boring. It's actually a good strategy. If you just be boring, people will stop paying attention to you. Unfortunately, like I've said before, the internet's a lot like quicksand. The more you struggle, the worse it gets for you. And Nick is he's having quite a few struggle sessions, as we'll see in just a few minutes. In the instant case, discretion review would neither delay or nor interrupt the litigation, but would streamline the litigation. I really don't see how. I mean, the only way that this would streamline the case is if you win, like, carte blanche. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, mate. Conclusion. Defendant has articulated sufficient reasons for the court to exercise its extraordinary power of discretion review. No, you haven't. The defendant's allegations of legal error should be remedied by the court to expedite the litigation. The court should also grant discretionary review because the Court of Appeals should use this case to provide guidance to the district courts on how to assess evidence gathered and the processes to be used for determining whether the defendant has made the requisite showing of materially regarding potentially compromised social media evidence. Defendant has thus respectfully requested that the Honorable Court grant the defendant's petition for discretion review, and it won't be. And this was, wait a second. So this was dated October 24th, Francis White Law, but it's attorney for the plaintiffs, but it's signed by Brian K. Lewis. So Francis White didn't even bother to do this himself. He sent his second boy to do it. They're like, oh shit, Nix wants more shit. Oh, fine, we'll just send this guy after him. And certificate of document length. I hereby certify that this brief conforms to the requirements of the Minnesota statute. The length of the brief is 3,000 words in total. Very good, very good. So the length and girth has been evaluated. All right, we'll get into the COPE stream in just a second. Oh, we don't need that anymore. Don't need it anymore. Let me just check this thing real quick. Let's see. BobTube with the 5 Australians. How's it going? Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Is it ironic that Nick's legal ability had made it worse for him in every case he's involved in, ×3? Doing nothing, he would have got a better result. This is actually, I guess, I've never really seen this before in legal proceedings, but typically the more someone knows about a subject, the worse they are as a patient or a customer. So like nurses and teachers are the worst patients because they think they know better than the professional that's actually helping them out. So it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. But yeah, Nick has definitely got some sort of Dunning-Kruger's thing going on where he thinks he knows a lot more than the people that are trying to help him. And this is evidenced by the, well, basically every prediction he's ever made has turned out to be wrong. When you look back at his entire career, it's pretty embarrassing, to be honest. Very sad for me because I was very much hoping for a good result for Nick. Vic Mignogna. But another example would be when he was in the family court and he was screaming at his counsel to object, and she didn't, so he objected for her, and he didn't understand the actual rules of juvenile court was the issue. So he was by objecting by himself, it was what is known as hybrid representation, because if you choose to have, you can represent yourself or you can have a lawyer represent you, but you can't do both basically. So definitely his him thinking that he knows more than everyone else is definitely hurting his case. And if he just shuts up, he'll probably get through this a lot easier. But thank you for the fiber. And Miss Ryan, member for 2 months, says tomorrow's my birthday. Cheers. Well, happy birthday to you, Miss Ryan. I hope you have something special planned. Another October baby. I myself had a birthday very recently, a couple weeks ago. October's the best time of the year for me, anyway. Alrighty. So let me just check something real quick. Oh, we missed one of these tweets. This is a good one too. This is a really good one. This is a really good tweet. So Fire PA said Nick abandoned every principle he claimed to stand for, and now he's gone on a full-blown descent into madness. But hey, fair use makes his spiral fair game, and at least he owned the haters. And then Nick responds, nobody gives a shit about principles. They're just weapons in waiting for people who have no interest but to destroy. My principles were extensions of courtesy, my rights on loan to others. They abuse them, and they do not share the same principles. I owe them nothing. Look, if you compromise on your principles when people are mean to you, it means they weren't principles at all. Very, very embarrassing. And this is, again, more projection. He's just self-confession, really. He's just saying he doesn't give any shit about principles because people do have principles. A lot of people have principles. Unfortunately, this man is not one of them. Trigger Rob says, been playing that FTL game. It's a tough cookie. It is a great game, though. If you're having trouble, try using the Kestrel, which is the first ship you get. And I like to take out the weapons first, and then I take out the ship. But typically you want to get to like 2 shields by the end of the sector 1, and then you want to save about 100 scrap and use that to kind of keep a bank of about 100 scrap and then buy things as upgrades come along. And if you get a really good upgrade like a Vulcan or a weapon pre-igniter, you're basically good to go. That makes it very, very, very easy. Or the flak cannons are really good too, actually, but we'll save that for later. Now, just checking something. That's pretty good. All right, I'll show this. Checking the meme vault briefly. This is pretty good. Say the line, cuck. Fucking nerds. Yay! Very good. Very good. Diamonds in Hand are also a super sticker. Much appreciated. The cake. That's I guess that's for the birthday girl. But yes, appreciated. Now, what am I looking for? Oh, there we go. There we go. Just give me a second here. Give me a second here. What is this? Oh, thank you very much. That's what I was looking for. People bringing in exactly what I was looking for. Very, very good. Okay, this is the tweet that I wanted to look at earlier from April. So Breaking Baldo said, well, actually, this is a chain of things, but let's see. So April said first, now you could have just reposted my tweet instead of taking the time to copy my text and put them in quotation marks, but I'd rather you take more of your time on me. And then Breaking Baldo responded to April saying, that's because I'm quoting you, Nick. So he's assuming this is Nick, not April. Why did you say, I would love to be his wife someday, though, if given the chance? He's really cool and really sexy. I'm ready. So April said this, I would love to be his wife someday. So she wants to be top dog. She doesn't want to be side piece. She doesn't want to be the other lady. She wants to be Mrs. Rackets. She's coming for April. That's actually like, look, April, she's an absolute fucking mess. This is actually something you should be concerned about, like for real. And this is why polycules never work out, because eventually somebody gets jealous, somebody gets feelings. Every extra vector of a person you add to a relationship makes it much more complicated. Relationships between 2 people are complicated as it is. Why add a third wheel? Like, come on now, you tricycle riding weirdos. But anyway, this is a lot of this is a lot of room to be concerned for. Saying that he wants to be the wife someday. How does Kayla respond to this? I wonder if she's still in the house. And then April says cover. So it's kind of weird. It's like, I thought it was quover, but like, I guess it's like pronounced as a K. Cover is a fucking gay word someone came up with that I had to go along with. Now, my understanding is that Kayla came up with this word. So throwing some more shade at Kayla. Very not looking good. She should watch her back. She's going to be sneaking up behind her with a knife in the middle of the night. She wants to be top girl. She's going to wear her face, perhaps. Let me see. I had to go along with that someone made up for a foursome that Aaron asked me to be a part of with him, which I agreed to because I loved him. So, it's all Aaron's fault. It's all Aaron's fault. Look, it takes 2, love. It takes 2. You could have said no. You could have said no. I think Aaron's position on this, and he can speak for himself. I mean, Aaron has a lot to answer for. The begging nonstop is one of them. You got to stop that. People will give you money if they want to. Just abolish the goal and just go back to just making good content or whatever. But she says that she did it for him. Now, Aaron says that no, he sensed that she wanted it and she was enjoying it. And she seemed to have come out like a bandit anyway, because she says she loves Aaron. She loves Nick, right? So surely she should be happy about this. Don't try and say that Aaron did this to you. It takes 2. It always takes 2. Come on now. Come on now. All right. Let's look at some of these clips in just a second. But before we get to that, Before we get to that, scroll through some things. What's this? What's this? Okay, a lot of notifications right now. I guess. Oops. Whoops. No, I don't want to show this at all. Almost exposed my DMs there. That would be very embarrassing. Very embarrassing indeed. Fortunately, I did not though. We'll put this back on screen. There we go. There we go. That's a safe screen to keep it open on. Right. I'm going to do a grift. The Dragon's Treasure. 10% off with code COPE. dragonstreasure.com. Get your anime tea. But like for real, the Dragon's Treasure makes some great tea. And the Dragon's Treasure went out on a limb and sacrificed his own earning potential by saying things against Nick. Nick was very good to his business. And, in a lot of ways, really established the Dragon's Treasure as a proper company and, took him from being a hobby to a successful business. This man sacrificed everything when he went against Nick, when he said that Nick has changed. And his business probably has been affected by that. So, go buy some tea, support the tea man. And if you want to get 10% off, use code COPE for 10% off. If that thing is still there. All right. Let's get into some of these clips. There's about, looks like there's quite a few actually. I've got 18 clips here. Some of them are very short, some are very long. Any particular order? Let's start off with this one. And these will be a little bit quiet.
You and Drexel still on bad terms.
All right, this is only 15 seconds. So, but like I said, I'll try and talk quieter. Maybe you turn the stream up because, again, he's filming this in his kitchen. So this is called Drexel Ghosting.
You and Drexel still on bad terms, as I heard. You said he was mad at you. Well, he doesn't talk to me, so I don't know if we're on good or bad terms at all. I would like to talk to him. I think I have some things to talk to him about, but...
Interesting. Lifelong friend. They were friends forever. Completely abandoned. Because he saw the way the wind was going. He saw the hypocrisy. Because they got together, put on beards, and made fun of Cuck Murphy for getting his wife slammed by Matt from Tinder or whatever it was. So when Drexel sees that this man, what he's done to his family, what he's done to his kids, doesn't even want to talk to him. Very, very sad. Hard times over there. All right, that's that one. All right, this one looks good. Let's see. Oh, no, I want to see the one where he starts off his new habit. New habit. Where is that one? The vaping. I want to see the vaping. No. Oh, let's start with this one, I guess. I'll find them as I go.
There was so much opportunity to have fun through like a lot of this, and it got burnt by angry, sad people. And
okay, this is the face. This is the face of the man that's having more fun than you are. You're just an angry, sad person. It's 4 a.m., by the way. He's in his kitchen alone, making sandwiches for like 80 people, and 70 of them are making fun of him.
Look, I get that some people feel betrayed in some way, and I'm sorry, I don't see it.
How can you make this statement? I don't see why people feel betrayed. You presented a persona. When you started, you didn't even swear. You said, like, if you want to swear my stream, that's fine, but I'm not going to swear, because you wanted to present the image of being a trad dad, 5 kids, high school girlfriend or whatever, the man living a dream, a kind of thing that many people see as a white pill, right? A lot of people look to the show, and myself included, I'll say this, I was a big fan. And I was like, hey, look, this is cool. You can see someone in the modern day who has a big family, a nice house in the country, and they get to still have a giggle and a few drinks on the internet and laugh at the hypocrisy of the world. That is the character that you build as your personality. You had streams called Chad Dad streams, big brain panels. Like, it's all very cringe in retrospect, but that's what you sold yourself as. So when people find out that secretly you're swinging and being a cuckold behind the things, of course they feel betrayed. How can you say, oh, I don't understand how this happened. I don't understand. Oh, this is crazy. Because you're completely different. It's not even a little bit different. You're a complete reversal of the things that you said. You literally said, don't give kids Coke. Don't swing. Don't do OnlyFans. Don't do these things. It is bad it'll fuck your children up. And you're right, it did. So of course people are mad. Of course people feel betrayed. Now, do you owe them anything? Well, they did finance your entire lifestyle, so perhaps, yes, you do owe them something. They gave you millions of dollars in super chats alone. Not to mention the ad revenue, which is very generous, I might add. So, yeah, maybe you do owe them a little bit. Oh, I don't know. They gave you their hard-earned money while you were sitting in front of a computer drinking whiskey. They were doing real work, 9 to 5s, 12-hour shifts, driving trucks, serving people, like high-tech jobs. They're doing all kinds of people. While you had a goof off on the internet, and you couldn't even do that. You couldn't even just watch the internet, have a laugh, and read the news. That's all you had to do. But that crumb of extra pussy was too tempting.
Because I didn't tell anybody on some promise.
Oops, sorry, it's rubbing.
Other than the 5,000 locals gift, which, believe it or not, that will happen.
It's never going to fucking happen.
If I die doing it, it'll happen.
Now, that's one thing, as I do want to know what the 5K local gift was. It's never going to happen. You may as well just admit that it was glasses that said Rekieta on it. We all know it's like whiskey tumblers or something, or like little Pope hats with the Rekieta. That's probably what it is, the Pope hats. Just tell us what it is, because they're never going to get it. So at least let us enjoy what it could have been.
A whole bunch of crazy shit has been alleged, and I'll get around to addressing all of it as we can. But like, there's a duality where people want you to, they say, like, don't talk about your personal life. So then you don't talk about your personal life, and then they're like, you lied about your personal life. It's like, well,
then just pick one. You can't please everybody. That's just life. Either tell people everything about it and explain why these ridiculous statements, because even now they're hard to believe. Like a 9-year-old testing positive for cocaine, it beggars belief. And you say that it's a false test, but you can't prove it, right? You say that the government didn't test again, but they always test again. They specifically do that. Why did you just do it by yourself, of your own volition, of your own money? You could have got you tested and then brought that in your own evidence. Like, he says there's a great explanation for it, but he refuses to give the explanation. So either pick a lane, either tell everything and explain why you're actually the victim here, which you're not. You did this is your own accord. You did this yourself. The government may have came in the doors and busted them down and taken your kids, but you invited them in with your behavior. You let your desire for hedonism, for quick pleasure, for like these highs and crazy experiences over keeping a stable, safe environment for your family. So either tell everyone everything or just shut the fuck up.
Actually, just wasn't your fucking business. And it doesn't affect you in any way. That's the amazing thing, is that outside of maybe some content variations that happen when one person goes on a crazy tirade, it didn't affect anybody at all. So,
I mean, he's not entirely wrong there. It doesn't affect people, really. But we do get to giggle at it. We do get to laugh at it because that is the standard that you set. You trained your audience to make fun of internet retards. Remember Russell Greer? Remember Ron Toye? You sat there, drunk whiskey, giggled to your heart's content as you made funny faces and made fun of people because they were bad people, right? Because that's why it's okay to make fun of Russell Greer's Mobius syndrome. His actual disability is because he's a terrible piece of shit that is harassing Taylor Swift, suing the Kiwi Farms, and taking prostitutes to Olive Garden. And I agree with you. I think you can laugh at him. But the thing is, if you train your audience to laugh at these people, if you become a piece of shit, if you become a lolcow, they're going to do what they were trained to do, which is laugh at you and derive pleasure from the ridiculousness of the situation. So you get what you fucking deserve, I guess.
I didn't scam anyone for a charity or anything like that.
Wait, he says he didn't scam anyone for a charity, but what about the 5K local ghost, first of all? And second of all, he kind of did scam people from a charity, because you remember the knives? Like, somebody sent him some knives that he was supposed to raffle off and then donate that money to Victoriana's defense. Did he just keep them? What happened to the fucking knives? Now, I know that like it was difficult to do the raffle because of the legal question of doing like potentially a weapon on a YouTube channel, but you did make these promises and you didn't deliver. Is that not a scam?
I don't even know how to do a crypto thing, like a crypto. I would do one of those crypto scams. Those seem great. But I don't know how to do those. I'm not tech literate.
Well, look, Boogie's a piece of shit, but Boogie never endangered children, except for his child bride, who's actually like 19 or something, so it's fine. Well, it's not fine, but you know, it's all legal, whatever. It's above the board. Arguably, Boogie's a better person than you, because he never endangered any children in his debauchery.
In that way, so that didn't work.
And what is the argument here? Is he saying that he would actually scam people if he had the ability, like if he had the know-how, he would scam people? Is that what I'm hearing? It's like, well, I mean, I would scam my audience if I only knew how I could. Well, you scanned them pretty good on the locals, I guess. 14 local streams. What is it? Day 195 of May or something? You still got time to do those 14 local streams. Nose coin to the moon? Yeah, maybe. What's going on with the civil suit? He's being destroyed by Russell Greer. No, sorry. He's being destroyed by Montegraph, and he owes him $300, and he hasn't paid up yet. The locals thing is really silly because I'm not one of the locals people missing out on a gift. But the idea that it was all the fault of other people, it was his laziness, his incompetence is why the local gift never happened. Is he took the money and he said he was going to spend about $40,000 on the locals gift, which is a significant pot of money. But it was much more important to buy his vanity car first, his Mustang that he almost drove off the road and almost like killed himself and his kid at the same because he was driving on the wrong tires during winter. He slid off the road. Thank God he didn't actually get killed there. So he could have done these things, these responsible things first before he spent his money on the fun shit. Before he spent, allegedly tens of thousands of dollars on cocaine, before he spent all these monies on trips, he could have done that. He could have delivered on this product if he really wanted to, but it was always it'll be there later thing. And then the legal proceedings happened, and then your money actually did get squeezed. Why don't you sell the Mustang and complete your promise to the locals gift? Why don't you sacrifice something?
Of their own making, and you failed the anime headcanon of you. Just like you always said, judges are just a person in a robe. Nick is just a dude on the internet. I don't know why people are so hung up. Me either. And I'm just a fun, happy dude like that.
Does this look like a fun, happy dude to you? Hey guys, I'm just a fun, cool 40-year-old dad. Hey, yeah, I do coke and I cheat on my wife. Well, I guess it's like I think it's cheating on your marriage, even if you agree to it. Like you make a vow, that's what you're cheating on your vows. This is a fun, cool, happy guy. 4 a.m. making a sandwich all alone.
Not right, not lately. Reasons. Caesar Dave, thank you. I'm glad you don't feel betrayed because I didn't betray you. And I wouldn't. I like
He's a fun and weird dad, yeah.
That makes sense to betray you.
There's a dirty kitchen, by the way.
Always
Dishes stacked to the top of the sink.
had.
Hey, look at that. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 people watching the stream. That's amazing. Why don't you hit the like button, guys? Come on, we need to get over 400 likes. If we get over 400 likes, then YouTube distributes it out more, and it just helps me out. Come on now. If we get half the people to vote to like the stream, we have 600 likes. That'd be great. Come on. That's all I'm grifting for today is likes. That's all I want. It's free.
Was that there's a bunch of stuff I didn't talk about.
Thank you. Very cool for doing your part.
Because it wasn't ever meant to be public. It's not that I didn't want to talk about them. The stuff, it's stories that involved other people, and it's other people, I respect the wishes of other people on stuff like that. But I like talking about stuff.
It's true. He did make it public.
What people know.
Like they were done, like even before the government forced it to all be public, they were dancing around and having a bit of a tease, like with the hot tub swinging stream. It's like, oh, we're in a hot tub. This is not a swinging stream. Teehee. They absolutely were teasing about. They wanted. There's an expeditionist. What's the word? Expeditionist. They get their jollies off because the people seen the degeneracy. Nick has even said this because he said like when they went to Jamaica, they had like sex in a canoe or some shit on the beach while all the Jamaicans were watching or something like that.
Decided to make public
exhibitionist. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about.
That were not supposed to be public, and along with that came a lot of lies, and I have the truth. And the reason you'll know what the truth is because I'm just not fucking ashamed of much of anything.
That's the problem, though. You should be. Like, these are things you should be ashamed of. Like, being arrested on any charge is something you'd be ashamed for. Even if it's really not your fault, it is a black mark against you. And you should consider your actions. Again, like, he invited these people into his house with his own actions, by being degenerate, by broadcasting it on the internet, by flaunting it, and by teasing people about it. Now, you can definitely make the argument like, oh, well, I think that police were like too strict or something. Like, I don't give a shit about that, okay? The fact of the matter is, you knew what the law was because you're a lawyer, and your actions invited these people to come and take your kids away. You are responsible. It's your household. You're the captain of the ship. You're the father of the house. It's your fault.
Because again, it wasn't anybody's business. But yeah. So, I have fun stories to tell coming up.
Yeah, fun stories. They look. I'm really looking forward to these fun stories. Are the fun stories in the room with us now, Mr. Fun Man? I mean, I'm just a nerd, I suppose. I would I wouldn't know a fun story if it hit me in the back of the head.
I always hated not telling them. So I'm looking forward to that. Some of them are going to have to wait till the court cases are over.
I really don't believe that's going to happen. Like, after the court case is over, it's going to be like, okay, guys, it's over. I want to put it behind me, and we're just never going to mention it again. But again, you can promise this. You can promise this to your supporters, the people that are still paying you money, right? Like, that's okay. I'll just tell you after the case is done. We'll talk about it for sure, for real, guys.
Let's just say there's been some dishonesty out there. There was so much opportunity.
There has been some dishonesty, but it's been coming from your camp, I'm afraid. That wasn't the clip I was intending to click on, by the way. I was trying to click on the no sandwiches for potentially criminal. That was a bit of a dark one. All right, let's see this one. No sandwiches. Wait, do you guys want one for no sandwiches for potentially criminal, or do you want to see legal mindset? So they've got, he calls out legal mindset is a fucking nerd, or Sean for being fat. One for legal mindset, 2 for Sean. And I'll give the chat a few seconds while I fill up my glass of water. People want to see legal mindset. I wonder how his channel, what is it, Ladyboy Luncheon? Look, that is the funniest thing he's said in years, Ladyboy Luncheon. Oh my goodness, I love alliteration. Oh dear. See some ones. Oh, is my chat broken here? Oh, my chat's broken. What the fuck? Hold on a sec. Let me reload this. I can see the chat's working on my sidebar. Eva Robinson with a £5 super sticker. Thank you very much. Almost missed that. Sorry, it froze up for a second. I need to restore the chat. So give me a second. Let me just refresh this. Oh, I checked my phone and the YouTube took away my chat. Hopefully this doesn't end the stream. That'd be very embarrassing if I did that. There we go. To reopen my YouTube studio. It's coming through StreamYard, so it should be fine. Should be fine. Oh, you know what? I can do this while I play a video. There we go. There we go. Legal mindset is this one is called legal mindset is a fucking nerd. Okay.
I didn't watch the video, but like legal mindset, it's like,
look, if you're a member in my YouTube chat, post those X's to doubt right now. We know he's lying about that. There's no, like, he didn't see the content. Then how do you know that Sean's doing his model streams? Huh? Counselor? How do you know that? No, that's a big fucking X to doubt. Of course, he's been watching all the content. That's how he knows how to call out.
Why people stopped interacting with Nick Rekieta. It's like, I stopped inviting people on my show because I couldn't reliably say I would be on a given night. I think you guys remember.
Is that a good thing, though? You're so coked out, you're so addicted to quick pleasures that you can't invite people to your show because, oh, wow, I just don't even know if I'll bother showing up. Wow, yeah, you're really convincing me that it's all the boring nerds, right? It's all the boring nerds. Now, what's really sad is that so there was a stream. I want to say it was in summer because I remember listening to it while I was going to get a haircut, and it was really hot. I was like, "Fuck, this is so hot." But I was listening to the stream because it was a drunk stream, and some of you in chat may remember which stream I'm talking about. And what happened is Nick was completely fucking toasted, and I think it was Legal Mindset, Legal Vices, and Aussie Overlord came on to join him. And I think it was like a Friday stream. And he was really drunk and slurring his words. And he was talking about how much he loved them because those are the 3 guys that could show up anytime he expected them to. So it was a kind of like, drunk gay talk, basically. But it was kind of endearing. It was kind of endearing that he would be like saying, like, these are the guys that I can rely on. These are the guys I can trust. Now, the time from that stream to when he started hating Legal Mindset is very short. It was like a month later. It was a month later because if I remember correctly, and I haven't talked to Andrew before, I don't know if this is anything behind the scenes. This is just what I know from public information. I think the entire reason that Nick started hating Andrew is because Andrew did like a stream where he was ranking law tubers on their takes, and I think it was for Gina Carano. And Nick said that there was no chance that she would get anything, and he was completely wrong. And Andrew gave him an F for that. And I think it was a very calm F. He was like, maybe I'll give him a D, maybe I'll give him an F sort of thing. But he gave him an F, right? A very inconsequential, very silly little thing. Doesn't matter, isn't important. It was from that moment on, as far as I know, that Nick just started fucking hating Andrew. And then you can see these other things start popping up, like this passive aggressiveness. Like he's like saying, like, oh, he's a chubby chaser. He's a chubby chaser. And then he just like, every time he comes on, he's trying to like throw shade at him, basically. And it's really funny because if you think about the parallels to Ralph, so the reason that Ralph stopped being friends with Rekieta was because Rekieta made a slight joke about him farting on stream, the shartening, even though it was like a fart, but it sounded like it was a shart, whatever. Nick made a joke about a fart, and then Ralph started hating him. Andrew gave Nick an F, and then Nick started hating him. So how petty it's so petty, like throwing away these friendships or whatever. It's like very embarrassing. Like, how embarrassing. What else can you say about how embarrassing?
Before I got arrested, my schedule was very erratic, and I was canceling a lot of shows. I mean, I think it's obvious now I was dealing with a maniac as part of it, and I was genuinely sick. When I said I was sick, I was genuinely sick. That was never a lie, not once.
It was coke-induced sickness.
So I want that, to be known. But that being said, like I stopped inviting people on the show because I couldn't promise to actually show up to my own show. That's why people stopped interacting with me. Legal Mindset can make up whatever reason he wants. I stopped interacting with him because he's a fucking nerd. He's sitting here selling this like, oh.
You used to talk about him. Like I said, that drunk stream in particular is what reminded me of this. You talked about how much you appreciated the friends that would show up when you were drunk on a Friday or whatever. It was a Saturday for me because I'm a day ahead because I live in Asia. But not Ladyboy Asia. I live in Japan with all the weebs and all the other nerds. No, just kidding. But yeah, you cared about these people so much, and then you just throw them away when they don't kiss the ring, when they don't kiss the baldo, right? Like, is that how petty it's become? Nitram with the $2 says, "Good morning, sire. Your baldo is magnificent, sire." See, if Lordship had just said that, there wouldn't have been any of these problems.
Here's how you go be a big swinging dick in Asia. It's like, why? Because you couldn't in the US? What's wrong with you?
So Nick is again, like a lot of, I think that obviously we don't know what's going inside his head, but I think a lot of these clips can be viewed through the lens of projection, because this is like literally you open the dictionary and this is the textbook. Like you see his fucking photo next to projection. So Nick is angry and says that Andrew's lame because he lives in Asia or because he left America. Nick has talked at length about how much he hates living in Minnesota. He wants to leave Minnesota. He thinks Minnesota is terrible. He only stays there because of Kayla and her family. So again, it's just sour grapes. Oh, I don't want those fucking grapes anyway. They're sour because he can't leave the place where he hates. He literally says how much he hates Minnesota. He hates the leftism. He hates how cold it is. He hates the food. He hates he can't get Uber Eats at 2 a.m. in the morning like he can in Vegas or Florida. So again, it's just projection and sour grapes. It's terrible. No one likes Minnesota. True.
Oh, wait, look at you. There's tons wrong with you. First of all, you're a fucking nerd. Second of all, you're not actually interesting or entertaining. Third of all, you're not.
This is just like, it's just like not factually accurate. If he's not entertaining, why are thousands of people watching him? And this is like, I really don't understand it when people have to try and go back and correct the record, because back when you were friends, you talked about how great he was and how successful he was. But now that you don't like him, well, he's always a loser. So you're just a phony friend the entire time? Just have some honesty. Just say you don't like him. But don't pretend. Don't correct the record and try and say that he's not successful. His numbers are basically exactly what Nick's numbers were before the downfall.
Not attractive, and you're not a slayer of women like he portrays to be. It's fucking hilarious that he's out there like teaching guys how to do guy shit. It's like, bro, look, anybody can look at you and just tell that whatever you're selling is not a healthy product, man. Skull Leader, he's not a lawyer with money. He's tall and has good hair, sort of,
Gay.
except he walks with a really awkward limp when you meet him in person. Kind of takes away from that tallness. And he's got that lazy fucking eye. Scanning for the government or whatever at all times. Looking for his debt collectors.
If there's a man out there that should be scanning for the government at all times, it's probably the man with the drug charges against him. Like, you literally have to keep an eye out that your government doesn't bust down your fucking door and take your kids away. I'm not sure you want to be throwing that sort of shade at somebody else. Absolute cope. Holy shit.
Ah! I didn't watch the video, but
Oh,
like,
is that
look
it?
at
Okay, that was a nice short one there. Nice short one. All right. That was the legal mindset clip. We'll check out the short one next. I just do want to show you that my chat is actually broken. Look at this. See, look. There's a fucking monkey where my chat is supposed to be, okay? This is what a broken chat looks like. Something went wrong. I can see it in not locals. Fuck. What am I talking about? I can see it in StreamYard, so I can read your chats in StreamYard and I can bring them up. I just can't see them. I can't put them on the screen. I have to refresh it or something. I don't know. That's what it actually looks like when YouTube takes away your chat cog. Very, very funny. Very embarrassing. They stole your bike? No. All right. Let's see. No sandwiches for potentially criminal. Let's see this one.
Is that a sandwich for Sean? No, I don't have 2 loaves of bread. By the way, you want a fucking nerd? There's one. I'm gonna paint my models.
Literally multiple hour-long streams with Sargon painting his models, and now you're going to pretend that you're above this. He spends thousands of dollars on scalped Warhammer 40k books because he just likes the way they look. He doesn't even read them. Now, to be fair, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to be a nerd, be a nerd. It's not the insult that he thinks it is. I don't know, like I said, I think this is I think that Nick is in a position where he's so powerless and he has to be at the he has to keep April happy. Otherwise, she's going to fucking flip and destroy his life because she's a firecracker. She's disaster waiting to happen. So he has to keep her happy. And then he has to keep his wife happy, which is going to be even trickier because you've got the other woman there, right? But then you have to go and obey whatever the government says you. And that's the really annoying thing, is he's basically being downgraded to child. The government is now his parents, and his parents also are looking after him as well. So he's been like double grounded. So I think he's feeling very powerless. And because he's feeling powerless, he's looking for ways to regain power. And blocking people is one way to do that. Like, it's like, well, I'm denying you the ability to read my funny and cool posts because you didn't trust me, because you didn't kiss the ring. I will now block you. And now that part of your life is dead. Goodbye. I have the power. You're gone. And again, with the nerd thing as well, it's trying to depower other people. But like, he is the nerd. Like, and again, there's nothing wrong with being a nerd. I'm a nerd. I'm absolutely a nerd. Doesn't bother me. I don't know why he thinks it does. It's very strange. Very strange. I wonder who he's been talking to that they think it's such an amazing insult. Very strange. Very strange.
You have fun.
Sean is having a lot of fun. Sean's doing great. His streams are up. He's got a very, very active community that enjoys watching him paint. He's getting married. Things are going great for Sean. He's got a puppy. It's so adorable. And he doesn't lock his puppy in the fucking bedroom, master bedroom dungeon bathroom. Save Sonny.
Start remembering, like, all these people are actually just losers, and the internet made them forget that they were.
Again, this is just every time he says something, just replace the other people with Nick. So it's like Nick was a loser and he forgot he was a loser with the internet, which is true. He was a loser, and then he got on the internet and he got thousands of people watching him, and he started to think he was a cool guy. Everybody loves me. I'm the whiskey drinking lawyer. I've got tens of thousands of people on my live stream. He forgot that he was a loser, and now he remembers again. That's why he feels so sad. That's why this is actually very dark, very this is very edge maxing. Well, maybe that's not the best way to, edgy maxing is what I'm going to say. Not edge maxing. That's a different word. Hey, look, it's Third World Aristocrat. That's the guy's channel. You should check out his channel. We played that clip from the very beginning of the stream. How's it going, man? Keep up the good content. It's really good. I like the quick little edits. Just make sure you use non-copyright music so I can play it without getting demonetized.
And they should all be shoved into, I mean, you can't shove him into a locker. You need a whole dumpster or whatever, but they all deserve to go back to where they were. Can you imagine that 700-pound? Oh, if you ever
So, like, what does he mean by that? Sean is still a practicing lawyer. Sean has a job. The stream is his hobby. What do you mean go back to what? Sean could go back to just being a lawyer. You cannot because your reputation is in tatters.
listen to one of his boring ass streams, he sits there, he's like, "Ah, we got a 16 grams of Bolivian blow." He'll like say these expressions that he's either made up or stolen from some shitty book. And he acts like he's cool, like, you know, he's done all this stuff and he's got this experience. He's a criminal defense attorney, but it's like, no, look at him. He's just a model painting fat nerd, which is fine.
What does Sean pretend to be cool though? Like, this is a complete mischaracterization of reality. It's just 100% liquid copium. Like, it's, you can't even refine it this pure. It's amazing. Sean, I've never seen Sean pretend to be. Sean is just himself. Actually, what I really like about Sean is he's very real. I think, like, he doesn't put on an act. He's just says what he thinks. He's a little bit rougher on the edges, but he's a very honest person, I think. At least that's my opinion. I mean, you know, what do you think? But he doesn't have this fake persona that like you do, where you pretend to be the Chad dad, lying about yourself for years. Well, perhaps he was a Chad dad, but then he got seduced by the dangers of chaos, right? That was his little nickname for himself in the cover group.
It's probably who you want defending you, honestly. You probably don't want me. I'll probably ruin something for you, but he's fine with that. But stop trying to like pretend to be cool. Because
what does he mean by that?
That's weird. You're not cool. We can all see you. But he does that.
Does he?
And then all of a sudden he's like,
does he?
Caught with blah.
Is this just wet brain? Like, is he just completely divorced from reality or something? Oh, the chaos with a cure. That's very cute. That's very cute, Kitty. Sean is very humble. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Potentially, Sean is a good guy.
Blah blah. Okay. Like I'm sorry. How does that affect you? Please tell me more about it. All these little bitches sitting there whining and crying at me. My friend, I'm worried about. No, you aren't. They never were.
That's not true. Everyone was worried about you when this first happened. The streams were sympathetic. When you started to go on your downfall, people told you to pull up. People told you, they warned you, they did care about you. They stopped caring about you because you were a piece of shit. They couldn't accept help from somebody else because you made them, right? So how could they ever help you? There would be nothing without you. Why would they need your help? Or why would you need their help, I should say? But no, they generally did care. Even my first stream about Nick, I was sad. I was like, I can't believe this is happening. Surely there must be another reason for this. But then as it went on, you were such a piece of shit that it's just like, you know what? Well, fuck you then.
There's like 3 or 4 people out there who are actually concerned for me from jump, stayed concerned.
So there's 3 to 4 people that care about him. He has 5 children. So I guess he forgot about them. Do they not care about their own father? Obviously, he's talking about LordTube. I guess we can probably guess who those people are. But I guess, what is it? Ralph, Dick Masterson, Vito, and I guess Barnes. Wow, real great lineup there. Yeah, that's a elite team you've assembled. Amazing.
With me because they're actually friends. The rest are, most people are just neutral, which is perfectly acceptable. Who cares? And then a couple of people are overtly hostile for no fucking reason because I was never ever rude to them or bad to them.
I think like the only people that like are overtly hostile is probably the people that are trolling you on Twitter. Like even like Sean, until you attacked him, he wasn't really attacking you. He was just reporting a newsworthy story. Like it or not, you are the news. International, global news. And you would have done the same if it was anybody else. And you did do the same when you covered other people's court cases, right? Until you really attacked them, they didn't really make fun of you that much. It was kind of just like, well, this is terrible. How could this be happening? But again, through your own attitude, people are like, you know what? Well, if you're gonna struggle, I guess we're gonna call you out on your shit.
But man,
and when I say struggle, I don't mean struggle. I mean flail. Flail was the word I was looking for. Hey, Excremer in the chat with a 50. North Korean Corona says, this will end in red rum. Who will redact who? I got money on Nick. Redact everyone out, including. Ooh, that's dark. One of these clips is really fucking dark. He actually talks about stepping away from the ledge. And it's like a good thing there's no mountains in Minnesota or some shit. It's like actually fucking dark.
They just
But this is the fun, cool, happy guy that we're all losers and sad and we can't have fun.
waiting for the opportunity to really show the world how much they needed to make me wrong about something.
This is like
That sandwich-
this is almost fascinating because it's like a look inside like his unfiltered, deranged mind, and it's showing me that he just has a completely made up version of reality, his own story, and that many people do have their own versions of reality. There was a guy who is usually very cringe recently, but used to be a lot better. What was his name? Scott Adams, the guy that did the Dilbert books. And he talks about how, specifically back in the 2016 election, he was talking about how everyone has their own movie screens, perception of reality. And that's why some people can see like Trump as being such an evil dictator, and some people are just normal, right? And they see it as like, well, it's just a party member that you don't like. And this is actually really crazy to see inside what he's thinking and his internal thoughts about how everyone's betrayed him, and they're just looking for this moment to stab the daggers in the back because they must be jealous, right? Jealous of his Hollywood rock style lifestyle, I suppose. It's very, very interesting. As like if you're like a psychology student or something, you should be taking notes. You should be writing a thesis on this because it's incredible just how deranged it is. And like, surely, how could you project this hard without having a little bit of self-awareness? Miss Ryan with a $10 super sticker. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, my chat's broken, so I can't see which sticker it is. Someone tell me what it was. What is it? Oh, I can use my phone. Oh, it's a little hippo. It's like a little moodang going KO. Great, love him, love him. Scarebro with a 5 says, Nick gives me the vibe of a guy who wanted to be the cool kid and coped that everyone who didn't like him was the one with the problem. Well, he said that he was a virgin until he met his wife, Kayla. That was when they're in university, so like, what is it, in 20s or something? So I guess if you no high school girlfriend sort of thing, very nerdy, typically. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with waiting for that special one person in your life. In fact, it's respectable if he had maintained his personality as a Chad Christian dad that he claims that he never was. But it was also never a Law Channel, apparently.
For Sean, no, I don't have.
Oops, sorry, we repeat that. There we go. That's the Sean clip. No sandwiches for Sean. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this one is really. This is the holy shit. This one is the biggest cope I think I've ever seen.
Go on the Keno Casino. Okay, yeah. 2 fucking loser Canadians with a combined IQ that's lower than the average calories in a bite that PPP takes.
This doesn't make sense. Like, this is such cope. Sour grapes. Now, I did watch a bit of the Keno Casino this afternoon, and PPP would have broke this down. Is like, well, if PPP's fat, surely the calories he takes in a single bite should be massive. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to calling him dumb. But like, oh, I'm never going to go on Keno Casino anymore. They lost their chance. I would have made them so much money. This is actual like incel behavior where like a hot girl or something is like, hey, you want to have sex with me? He's like, no. It's like, well, I didn't want to have sex with you anyway. You're fucking ugly. This is exactly what he's doing with the Keno Casino. It's like, he's like, I would never go on their show anyway. It's like, what? They're just going to make fun of you anyway. It doesn't matter. And how much money can you really bring them? I mean, you went on other people. You tried to go on some piano guy's channel or something. It was like 10 viewers. What pool do you have? You're pulling 80 people on a local stream. Like, I think the Rekieta effect is dead. There was a time when you could make people's careers, but now the only people's careers you're making is the people that are pointing and laughing at you.
No, thank you. Andy Borski can get fucked.
And by the way, the idea that like he won't go on the show because they made fun of him is completely false. Because Ralph, after he made fun of Ralph farting, Ralph went on this giant spurg spree talking about how later Rekieta was a slut and a slag. And I guess Ralph was correct, but we didn't know at the time. So I guess Ralph W. And how he's talking about his kids, like these horrible things. Ralph said these horrible things about Nick. But then when Ralph was the only person or one of the few people that was still in the bunker, still supporting Rekieta, he went on Ralph's show. Disaster of a show. Ralph was fucked out of his mind. And it was probably the biggest shit show of the year in his stream anyway. So the idea that he won't go onto his enemies' channels or the people that have made fun of him in the past is just flat out false. If you say nice things about him, he'll go on your show. It's just the way it is.
Fucked. And PPP can't get fucked because it's biologically impossible. He's too fat. He's too much of a nerd. Hi, we have a show where we make up shit. Okay, cool. Great. So does everybody else. I sound scared. Cool. terrified.
I kind of want a sandwich now. I'm not
Funny
gonna lie.
thing, there was a time they could have easily gotten me on
Not
the
from this
show,
house though.
and I would have been happy to make them a bunch of money.
How much money
Not
did you make,
anymore.
Ralph?
Then you're just felted. No one's ever fucking cared about that expression.
Felted stocks are rising, bros. I'm sorry, it's contagious. Like there are some words that just have like a really punchy effect. Like cuck is one of them. Like cuck is quick, it's easy, it rolls off the tongue, and it's just so devastating. That's why it became like even normies are saying cuck now, right? Like it used to just be an internet thing, and now everybody's saying it in real life. Felted is another one. Like I'd never heard of it before the Kino Casino, honestly. I'd heard of Kino before, obviously, because Kino was a bit of a meme on 4chan for a while, so specifically like the TV board and everything. But I'd never heard of felted before the Kino. But it just rolls off the tongue. It's like there's something very addictive about saying it. I know some people in the chat get angry when I say it as well, but I'm sorry, it's just a really good, easy phrase to say. It's addictive, and that's how meme magic works. It gets in your brain, it worms in there, and the only people that are complaining about the word felted are the felted people. Let's be honest. Couldn't be me, I suppose. Scarebro says with a 2. Ralph supports Nick, also a child neglector. The parallels between Ralph and Nick are actually astounding, and it wouldn't surprise me if there's another baby on a different baby mama on the way. Although Nick does say that that's just a rumor and it's not true in this. It's not true. Calamella with the 2 says the level of bitterness is insane. Yeah, it is so tone deaf. It's insane. He cannot read the room. I guess it's because it's covered in shit. I mean, even in one of these clips, he actually talks about how his floors are dirty, covered in like folded up clothes. Oh, you know what? Like, there's actually like, so this is a funny thing that just popped into my mind. But you see how dirty his kitchen is, and like, there's a lot of shit there. And it's not that terrible. Let's be real, okay? But there's a guy called Asmongold, which I know a lot of people don't like in this chat, but he got kicked off of Twitch, banned for 2 weeks because he said that he didn't give a shit about the Palestine and Israeli conflict. And as his penance, he's been cleaning his house, and he's got a clean kitchen now. Like, he cleaned his room. So if I go to Asmongold's, like, look at this. This is crazy. Asmongold kitchen. Let me see if I can find the photo of it. There's actual brief trigger warning. This is a disgusting kitchen with spiders in it. This is Asmongold's sink. Before he started cleaning his house, this is what Asmongold's sink looks like. It's disgusting. It's terrible. Now he's cleaned his kitchen, and now look at this. This is Asmongold's kitchen now. It's fucking cleaner than Rekieta's kitchen. Asmongold has a cleaner house than Nick. A literal goblin has a cleaner house than Nick. Look at this kitchen. Look at Nick's kitchen. Holy shit. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
When the government can take your kids, you don't give a shit what 2 retarded Canadians think.
If you don't care about them, why are you talking about them? When I don't care about somebody, I don't mention them. When I see a chat that it doesn't bother me, I don't mention it, right? That's the way it is. You clearly do care about them because you're seething about them.
Sorry. They burned their chance for me to give a shit.
Is there any possible example of sour grapes in all of human history that is more evident than this? They burn their chance with me. Sorry, I didn't want to fuck you anyway. You're ugly. Well, holy shit. Holy shit, the cope. Get rid of that kitchen. There we go. Get rid of that. That was a pretty interesting one. All right, let's take a look at the about halfway through these. Okay, blocking the nerds. This looks like a good one.
Hey, you know what? I realized something today. There are people out there that didn't get bullied enough, and they're still fucking nerds. So they can get lost. I'm tired of it.
Again, it's just pure projection.
I wouldn't talk to these people in normal real life. And so, like, if you want...
Except you went and met these people in real life. You went to Anime Matsuri. when you were popular, when people liked you, when they were being nice to you, you loved them. You said how great they were. You promoted their channels because their content was good. You literally went out and said that these people are the cream of the crop. Remember the LordTube drama with the breakup with legal bites and everything? You're like, well, that side of the people, they're all gay and lame, but these are the good, these are the Chad, these are the base boys. You love them until they talked mean things about you, and now you hate them. Funny how that works. Funny how history changes based on how nice people are to you.
Talk to me. Like, I don't care who you actually are, but have some common fucking decency, because I will have common decency with other people.
What is common decency? Is it looking after your kids? Is it staying out of extramarital affairs? Is it going into the Twin Cities and getting hand jobs instead of working, like you said you wish you could be doing because you hate trial streams? Is that common decency? What about going to Jamaica? Going to hedonism? Is that common decency? What about leaving your kids with a babysitter on Christmas to go swinging on Aaron's birthday at the casino? Is that common decency? Oh, yeah, Aaron's birthday's coming up, right? It's in December.
When I find out that someone's just a fucking
I believe it's
nerd
Christmas Eve, right?
with no joy in their life, I don't want them around anymore. So they're gone.
This is the man that has joy in his life, and your life is joyless. Just consider that. Consider the facts. This man, full of joy. You, very sad.
And you'll know what I mean. I don't mean like, oh, I'm a nerd because I like books. I mean, you're a nerd because you're a fucking nerd. So get out. And all those people should be bullied and beaten to death.
Whoa. That's a pretty... People that don't like me should be beaten to death. That's a lolcow statement if I've ever heard one. Oh my goodness. Just fucking die. You know, this is like the powerless kid. You know, who's like, oh man, if I had superpowers, I would kill all of my bullies. Don't go to school tomorrow, chat. Like, holy shit, this is some deranged level. Like, this is some messed up shit.
Yeah, no, I'm good with it. So to make sure that I was comfortable saying that, very much so. Yeah, it was really refreshing. It was good. It made me happy to do that. I have never blocked people on Twitter. I don't think I may have an errant block in there somewhere, but I don't think I do. In something like 6 years, I haven't blocked anyone.
How did you become a Flaggit blocker? Well, very slowly at first and then very quickly. It's amazing the speed run he's doing on completely destroying his image. It's all like in 7 months, basically, right? That's how long it took. It's crazy.
And today I just started blocking a whole shitload of people. And it's so great. Oh, so good. And I'm gonna do it again. As they,
Literally doesn't fucking matter. Like, honestly, if you block people, I don't block people. I don't give a shit. But if someone blocks me, I don't give a shit either, because it's just internet bullshit. Like, just turn off your computer and go outside, like, for real. If blocking people makes you feel happy, if blocking makes you feel like you've got control in your life, you go, girl. You deserved it, right? But like, to see them like this, like, it's just letting people know that you're mad, right? And it's not even like a big deal. They could just log out of their account, open a private account or whatever, private tab, and then they can see your tweets anyway. So if you want to block it, go ahead. But it is just funny to laugh at.
Show up and waste my time. I'm just gonna start blocking people. I gave them long enough.
Or just ignore them and just don't respond to them at all. It's like the ultimate thing that'll make them annoyed. Like, unironically, you give wins to people by blocking them. Like, the people that you block it and be like, hey, I knew him enough that he blocked me. If you just ignore people, it'd be much more frustrating to them. But like I said, if you want to block people, go for it. I don't give a shit. Because it's just internet meaningless bullshit.
With them. And that makes me really happy. And I found out that that's something that I should be focusing much more on in my life, is joy. This range cultist.
Oh my goodness, he's live life, love. What is it? Live, love, life. Maxing. I found out I just love me. I love joy. Oh my gosh.
You deserve it, dude. It's unhealthy. Like, there is
eating sandwiches in your kitchen at 4 a.m. unhealthy? Out of curiosity, like, go to bed. Like, what the fuck?
There are some people out there who just like are really, really into it, which is fine. I just don't need them on my timeline, shitting up every post I make and every reply, because, I've got other stuff to do. Other stuff.
Like what? You didn't do anything for the last like 3 months. Before the kids were taken away, too busy to stream, too busy getting high and chasing quick dopamine hits to work or do anything. Kids get taken away. Well, I can't stream now because I got to get the kids back. Kids get back. Well, the kids are back. Now there's no time to stream. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Just work. Just do some fucking work. Like, people unironically need to work. Not necessarily you need to have a job, but you need to have a purpose, something you're working towards. If you just spend all day getting high and chasing these like quick like pleasure bursts, you feel like there's like an existential dread. Like when you go to bed at night, like you're like, oh shit, I feel like something's wrong. It's because your body like knows, your subconscious knows that you didn't improve your life that day. You didn't try anything that day. You didn't do anything that day. And as a result, you're mortgaging your future. And then the next day is you're going to have to do catch up. And it's just not a good way to live. Like if you really believe this, if you really want to live, laugh, love, max, turn off the internet, just do your show, because he can make a comeback. Anybody can make a comeback. It's very unlikely at this point, though, but it is technically possible. Just stop interacting with fans. Do your news reading show. Cover the Trump trial. Cover Sarah Boone. Whatever it is. There's all sorts of stuff you can cover. Just do that. When you're finished, turn off the internet. Spend time with your family, and don't see them on the internet. And you're going to be great. That's the way to make your life. That's the way to recover from this. Now, I can't help you with the legal shit because it's it's fucking scuffed. It's over, bros. Skabro with a 5 says, nerds is a euphemism. He means people laughing. Up until he became Wish Howard Stern, he built up his career using the farms in slap fights he won. Yeah, exactly. Like the idea that like making fun of people is something that he's adverse to, or something that's like, it's sick or it's bad, the Schadenfreude or whatever, is completely just cope, because he literally bought like a fake mouth so that he could pretend to be Russell Greer, who has Mobius syndrome. And Russell Greer is a piece of shit. Like, he deserves to be made fun of. But so is Nick. So he deserves to be made fun of, right? That's how it works. Good for the goose, good for the gander. But he would delight in making fun of these people that he just like saw these lolcows on the internet and is like, I want to poke fun of them. And then he kind of grifted the Kiwi Farms audience, and he grifted the anime audience because they had a lot of money. And he likes to say that he doesn't like anime, but he's like, oh, actually, I own DVDs of anime. It's all just like, it's so fake. It's so slimy. He looks a little rough. He could use a bump. Look, I'm not convinced he's not on something in this. He's vaping in one of these clips, which is cringe. But he definitely needs to like get hits of something, I think. I wonder if it's like a CBD vape or something, because I think that's legalized in Minnesota. I'm not sure if that's not sure if that would be on his restrictions though, because I'm pretty sure he's not allowed alcohol or drugs still. Who can say? Might see those later. Play video. Come on.
Talk about, and they make it difficult to even have conversations with people. So I got rid of them. And yeah, man, these people are joyless. They have no concept of like comedy or humor or self-deprecation in any real capacity.
Chat, are you joyless? Do you feel joy? Are you sad? How happy are you, chat? From 1 being sad and 10 being happy, how would you rate your life? Because I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty happy with my life. I think I'm like a 7 or an 8. There's always room for improvement, right? But I don't know. I think I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good, actually. This man, though, full of joy and accomplishments. Oh, Big Chungus. Oh, no. Somebody fucking send an emergency call to Big Chungus. We need to help this boy. It's a big boy. But like also saying that people don't have a sense of humor. What like your Denny's joke? That was funny. Look, I'm not going to lie. Nick has said some funny things in the past, but everything he said recently, apart from Ladyboy Luncheon, has just been absolute boring. And being sad isn't funny. Like, what's going on here? Pagliacci, the sad clay. Used to be Joker, but now he's just Pagliacci. Very sad, very sad.
And they're always so fucking serious. And it's like, why?
Unlike this stream, which is very, very,
Why?
this is a very unserious
Like,
stream.
you can't, they'll take a joke all day, except for when you actually make one. Then they won't take a joke anymore. Then they want to call the fucking police because of jokes or whatever. It's like, oh my God, when did the internet police show up to everything?
I don't know about the internet police, but the real police showed up at your house in like May. they took you to jail. I think you should be concerned more about the real police, not so much the internet police.
That person, they're talking, and I don't like them. Okay, cool.
Oh fuck! Look at that kitchen. The dishes are piled sky high. Holy shit!
I am tired of it. The other thing that makes me laugh is I know it's going to fucking bother them being called nerds. Because it always will. That's the funny thing about nerds.
Is it funny and weird or just funny?
They're always bothered when they're reminded that they're nerds. The internet removed the ability for someone to get punched in the fucking mouth.
Oh, here we go. Tough boy,
And,
tough guy. A man that said he couldn't take Aaron in a fight is now going to talk about punching people in the face through the internet. If I could just punch through my screen, I would. I'll teach you nerds a lesson. Oh my goodness. Holy shit. Absolute see that random people on the internet. Who gives a shit?
And it made these people think that they were like cool. It's like, all right, you're not though. Like I've seen you people.
We've seen you. We see you right now. Is this the face of a cool, joy-filled man? Okay.
You don't fit in at a brothel. You don't fit in anywhere.
That's a weird
That's
thing
why
to
you're on the
say.
internet all day. That's fine.
You
Stay
don't.
there.
Wait, what do you mean by that? You don't fit in a brothel. What does that mean? Is he speaking from experience again? Did he go to a brothel and he couldn't find like a seat or something? Like, what the fuck does that mean? You don't fit in a brothel. That's a weird statement. Also, look at how fucking dirty these light switches are. You gotta get some shit off that. Oh my goodness.
Just don't talk to me about how I live. Because I like my life way better than that. It's amazing.
And I actually kind of agree with that statement. Like, don't talk to him. Like, I think you should just leave Nick alone. Like, honestly, like, don't contact him. Make fun of him from the outside. That's fine. Because I don't think Nick should see streams like this. They're bad for him. Like, if he saw this stream, it would make him sad. Don't watch it. Just turn it off. People are going to make fun of you, and that's their right because you're a public person on the internet. You made your life public. But I do think you should avoid, like, don't touch the cow is what I'm saying. You don't touch the cow. Just let him do his own thing, and we'll derive pleasure from that, from his antics, basically.
I don't give a shit anymore about other people.
Well, he's been talking about this for the last 4 minutes, so he clearly doesn't give a shit.
Like imposition of my personal policies. I didn't block people because I didn't want to block people. Well, 7 years of retards. I'm gonna block them.
That should be his autobiography, actually, but just change it a little bit. 7 years a retard. That'd be a good way to describe any internet career, really.
Oh, he's a paying customer. Okay, go. Don't pay me anymore.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's a bad move to make.
Like-
Don't say that. That's what the game companies say just before they go broke. If you don't like it, don't fucking pay. Okay. I mean, you've convinced me.
I just don't care. I really do appreciate all of you. Every single person who stuck with me through all of this stuff. But if someone's going to be here just fucking bitching, goodbye. I'm done with it. Again, I'll say it one more time for those in the back. When the government can take your kids, none of this other shit matters. People are toxic.
Toxic.
They're not good for your life.
I mean, I'd agree with him. Like, looking at the people making fun of you is terrible for your self-esteem. So stop reading your Kiwi Farm thread. Stop watching the streams that people make fun of you on. And stop filming in your fucking kitchen at 4 a.m. when you should be in bed. Come on now. Come on now. But I mean, he's right, though. It is bad for you, but he can't look away. He has to look at it. And he says that he doesn't read his thread. He says he doesn't watch this stuff. He does, because he references it. And he messages Null. Of course he does.
Fucked with one too many streamers. And they're unappeasable and joyless.
Yes. They're the joyless ones. Yes.
So they can just go, hey, you know what?
Oh my goodness. That's a rough one. Some of these are dark. Some of these are dark. Let's see. What is this one? Oh, okay. This is what I was looking for.
I'm not a sauerkraut person.
Cringe vaping. Now I've done a vape once or twice, but I've never bought one, okay? But like, come on now. Come on.
When did I start vaping? When the government fucked me. And I need
That's so fucking dark. Holy shit. It's like, it's so dark that it almost comes around and becomes funny again. Like, I feel bad for laughing at that, honestly. But this one is, whew, that's like something like that's like a what is it, like an aristocrats joke or something, when it's like so fucking like, when did I start fucking vaping? When my government took my kids away. Holy shit. That's a hard one
Need
to
to just
watch.
figure out after. Did you say, was it as good for you as it was for me after they fucked you? No, they left me sleeping in the bed.
Oh my goodness. The vape. So cringe. At least blow some smoke rings or something. Did I read this one? Skibber with a 5 says, pretty sure you just need money to fit in there. Even Russell Greer got a date. Oh yeah, the prostitutes. Yeah, well, the thing is, Russell Greer took the prostitute out to Olive Garden and used up all his time on breadsticks and stuff and pasta, and then she didn't even fuck him. So it's very embarrassing. Russell Greer is a massive waste of space, but very entertaining though. And Nick does benefit a lot from grandma and grandpa's money. That's very true. He does have his trust fund, so he'll be all right. That guy with the 5-pounders, he says, to be clear, overwhelming majority aren't contacting Nick. They're just making fun of him on Twitter and YouTube, and that's what he's whinging about. Yeah, because he used to be the popular cool kid, and he didn't feel like a nerd for a while, but now he feels like a nerd again that everyone's making fun of him. I mean, again, it's just classic projection. Kellen Miller with a 2 says, that face telling everyone they're joyless, lol. It is very ironic. It is very, very ironic. It almost becomes funny. Like, it reaches around because it's just so tone deaf, I guess. What's this one?
My sign's been buddy-buddy with Vic Mignogna. Yeah, I need to talk to Vic. I've owed him a conversation since December.
You owe him fucking $600,000 for wasting his time and convincing him to fucking sue Funimation. I mean, obviously that's... Oh, what a disaster. How... My boy Vic. Look what they did to my boy Vic. Disgusting. Watch him vape again. He's not... Okay, whatever. That's cringe. If you know that. Like, I don't know the mechanics of vaping, okay? I guess I'm a nerd loser who doesn't do vaping, so I don't get... Are you supposed to inhale it, or are you supposed to just keep it in your mouth? I don't know how it works. I don't want to defer to the vaping experts in chat.
My sign's...
Holy shit. The vaping check. Oh my gosh. Only cool people inhale? Okay. Okay. Do you guys really want to see the vaping again? Fine, here you go. Where is it? It's called this one.
I'm not a sauerkraut person.
Oh, he's just a sour puss. He's not a sauerkraut person. Okay, let's have a look. What type of vape is this? Can any... All right, vape experts. This is your chance now. This is your chance now. Let's have a look. It lights up. Look at... Oh, wow, so cool. It lights up. No, it's like LED. Come on. It's not a weed vape. That's an expensive rig. Well, he's got daddy's money, I guess, so he can use it, right? Anyway, we got to go back. We got some other clips to go through. Current sobriety and future whiskey plans.
Have I been drinking? No. No, I can't.
All right, chat. Do you think he's been drinking? 1 for yes, 2 for no. And also be sure to like the streamers. How many likes we got? Oh, almost 600 likes. Come on. Can we get to 600 likes on the chat? Come on now, chat. I'm counting on you guys. I think he snuck in a few little sneaky drinks. I'm sure he's still taking his testing, but you can clear alcohol through the system so quickly. It almost seemed like he was drunk when he started this stream and he was sobering up as he got through it, but it looks like he's found another vice at least, I suppose.
I'm still drug and alcohol tested like 4 times a week. So
wait a second. Let me replay that.
have I been drinking? No. No, I can't.
Okay, so he did say no to it. I was wondering if he was just saying like I'm still getting tested, but he didn't include the not drinking part. That's his Joker laugh. Look, it could happen to you one bad day, and you could end up like him.
I'm still drug and alcohol tested like 4 times a week. So no, can't drink. Can't wait for the day I can. It'll be great.
It's a very apropos name.
But no, I've not been drinking or doing any drugs or anything like that. I know there's a bunch of people out there who really want that to be true. They're like,
wait, he has a Coke now, really?
There you go.
Maybe he just
is
doesn't cut
not
his
coming
nails.
back to the show for maybe a long time. Maybe never, which is fine.
Probably for the best.
It was part of the show.
Uh-oh. Can you guys hear the joyless police in the background? They're coming for me. Oh, no. Coming for get me now.
I used way too much of it. It became a crutch on the show. It was at first a feature, then it became a bug, we'll say. And so for at
It's
least
a
a
loud
good
one.
while, there's not going to be alcohol on the show. I may not legally be able to have it too. I don't know. But even so, there probably won't be any on the show because for now, I need to focus on making a good show again.
This is not a great start. I'm going to say that the local kitchen streams are not really helping the goal of making a better show. This is pretty depressing, very joyless, and very nerdy with the vape as well. So, not where you want to start. Maybe the election's coming up. Do a Trump and gun stream like you used to. That'd be the locals people love that.
And that's what I'm more concerned with. And for what it's worth, right now at least, I do a better show when I'm not drinking. Of course, I don't really know. I haven't had a drink since June 5th. But that was on me.
Wait, when was the court date where he got tested positive in court? Was that June 5th? But he was arrested in May. Wait, didn't he? Wait a second. Didn't he say that he threw all his alcohol away in May? Then he had a drink on June? Not sure those numbers add up, right? Just go back and check that.
It was my fault, my choices. I'm the one who chose to take all the drinks. I'm proud of other people's sobriety. I have mine because I have to. I don't really care. I don't care about liquor. I like whiskey. But I don't like neat alcohol. I just really like whiskey.
What?
Have I been drinking?
That's alcohol. Oh, okay, whatever. All right, let's see. That's snaky regarding steel toe. All right, let's see the steel toe.
I know there's a snaky retard out there who's told a bunch of stories about my life.
Oh, that rat Aaron. Oh my goodness.
One day, friend, I get to talk to. And I have a bunch of stories about your life.
Holy shit, the Freudian slip. I've got a bunch of stories about your wife. I mean, I guess he does because he stole her. The April? Oh my goodness, unless Ape escapes, right? She gets lost in the woods. Who can say? Holy shit. Look, I think look, trying to make fun of Aaron is going to be like, it's going to be a Herculean feat because Aaron tells all the shit about his life anyway. He went on the Kino Casino and felt it himself. You really think you're going to embarrass him? What are you going to say? You've said everything. He said everything. What bombshells are you going to drop? The only stories you do have is about his wife, which you now have at your property.
I have a bunch of stories about your life.
Ooh.
Can I tell you now? Does it hurt your case? No, I don't want to do anything that could potentially influence the testimony of a potential state witness. So any of the
Oh, that's interesting because I think there was some indications that Ralph was trying to harass Aaron, and there was reports coming out of Minnesota that they were investigating potential witness intimidation. So I wonder if he can't talk about Aaron entirely because he would get in trouble because of that, because of Ralph's actions, because Ralph just fucks up everything wherever he goes.
those stories will just have to wait until all that legal ramifications are out of there. I know there's a snaky retard.
All right, that was a pretty short one. Let's see what else we got here. The government's thumb, mental health. The kid shit is bogus. Pastor reporting is an absolute. All right, let's see the pastor one.
One of the things that I learned is that someone compiled stuff I said about Jesus out of context.
You said that Jesus was just a dude, that he'd put stripper poles in a church, and that he was a sinful man. Like, it literally makes no fucking sense.
And sent it to the pastor who reported us. So the pastor's report is influenced by out of context quotes I made about Jesus, which are quotes not of authority, because I'm not an authority on the Bible at all.
Then why were you doing Bible study session streams? It's a bit weird.
I who likes to read and think when I have time.
Like, I think you've had a bit too much to think.
And so the exploration of the text was me doing a doing textual criticism of various parts of the Bible because I find it interesting, and then being a little cheap.
Didn't the Bible streams happen like after? Didn't that happen after the arrest? Am I wrong about that? Are we back? Got shut down. Got shut down by the government. They knocked down my house. I think we're back. Let me know. Let me know if we're back. If we're back, post something in the chat. Stop saying F. There we go. All right. I think we're good to continue. Got to briefly disconnect it.
About Jesus's divinity, which I actually believe in. Never didn't.
What? You said that Jesus was just a guy.
There's a point, I think, to the fact that God came down as man. And I don't think Jesus saw himself as sinless.
Isn't
The way
isn't
he
that the
describes
entire
sin in the
crux
Sermon on the Mount.
of religion? That like, isn't that the entire point of Jesus, that he is sinless, and he's the only sinless like human, and that's why he died on the cross, to absolve people of their sins? Like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. He's the Son of God. He's part of the Holy Trinity. How can he just be a regular guy? Oh my goodness. It beggars belief. Scarebro with another 5. Thank you very much. Big support for the stream. Says, lol the cope. The pastor did mandatory reporting because of a bunch of blasphemy. I hope he uses that at trial. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Of course, they didn't report him for his blasphemy. They reported that his kids were hungry and filthy in the church, and they were complaining and asking for food. That's what the report was. And that also that he was leaving church to do bumps during the sermon because it was too boring for him. You could see him shaking and jittering in the, like, because the church actually had a live stream cam. So you can actually see this. People spotted this happening like in real time. Well, not in replay time, I guess. Although I do think that people went a little bit overboard harassing the church. And I think they took those streams down because of that. Like I said, leave the cow alone. Don't touch the cow. It's much better for everyone if you just leave these things up and look at them from afar and comment at them from afar. Pretend you're like in orbit and you're looking down into a human zoo when you're observing these creatures. That's what you should be doing.
I think he very clearly considers himself a sinner. We say that Jesus was without sin. That's fine. Maybe he was. Maybe he wasn't. I don't think Jesus considers himself without sin. I don't think that God is constrained by some rule that requires the pure blood sacrifice to forgive sin. God can just go, I forgive you. Like he can just do that because he's God, right? But people are like, nope, he couldn't do that. He needed
Look, regardless of how religious the chat may be, if God is truly divine and God can do anything, then there's no way we can even question these choices that he makes, because we simply cannot comprehend the divine. That's what makes him God and not a man.
Christ to die on the cross. That was the only way. It's like, that doesn't make sense. That's magic. That's not religion. That's not faith.
Is he saying God can't perform miracles? That's magic. What are you talking about? God using magic? What the fuck is going on? This is, I don't know. I think I'm too small brained to understand what he's talking about. Like, if I couldn't decode Denny's joke, I can't decode this. It was simply not on his level.
And so it's like, the problem is I get into discussions about that and I actually think through the problems and the questions that come up. And I often come to a conclusion that sounds something like regular Christian doctrine, but sometimes there's a period in the middle where I'm like, well, I mean, that's kind of weird. That's kind of a strange part of the text. And people take that and they go, see, he's hates Jesus. It's like, no, I like that guy. He's funny. He hangs around with cool people.
I mean, apart from Judas, I suppose. Or maybe that's why Nick likes Jesus. He's very relatable because of all the Judases in his life. What does he mean? Jesus is very funny. I mean, it was pretty funny when he threw the tax collectors out of the church. I think that was pretty funny. But like, what does he mean by that? Like, how many zingers does Jesus deliver in the Bible? Like, does he have any good knock-knock jokes? Like, what are you talking about? Oh, he walked on water and he turned water into wine. That was hilarious. Everyone had a big laugh. when he fed everyone with like 6 fish and 6 loaves of bread. What the fuck is he talking about? Jesus was a funny guy. Imagine arguing with the ultimate dungeon master. Yeah, didn't Nick used to play Dungeons and Dragons on stream as well? Pretty nerdy behavior. Nothing wrong with it, of course. But just evidence of his hypocrisy.
That whole discussion to me was more about, do I care if Jesus wasn't sinless? No, I don't give a shit.
True, Jesus was a
Jesus
nerd.
cannot sin against himself. That's how I reconcile
Wait,
that.
chat. Which way, chat? Jesus was the ultimate party guy, or Jesus was a nerd? The duality of the chat. I don't know which one is correct. Holy shit.
Of course he can. Why can't he? Like if Jesus just murdered a guy, like that'd be sinning against himself. It wouldn't, I guess you could say, well, since he's God and God makes the choices of right and wrong, God can only choose right, then Jesus' choices are always right, therefore he's sinless. But that's like it's a fallacy. That's not a real way to get to that.
Is he owning God in a debate? Actually, God, you just committed a logical fallacy. What are you talking about? Oh my goodness, this is really deranged. He's actually owning God with facts and logic. Holy shit. Ben Shapiro versus God. What are we talking about?
Philosophical cheat mode. But the whole thing is,
Gone blow.
the pastor who reported us
Whew.
got video compilations from people about.
Well, like the thing with the pastor though is, wasn't the pastor reporting on what the nurse, or there was like a preschool teacher, right, or something like that? Like the teacher, it was part of the church, and she reported what she noticed, the kids being smelly and hungry, to the pastor, and then he reported that. I don't think the pastor's report included anything to do with the video evidence or anything like that. It's complete non sequitur, right? It's just absolute cope. Now, maybe someone did send a compilation to the pastor, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing in that in the documents, at least none of the ones that I have read.
Things I said about religion. He never talked to me about them. He could have. I talked to him all the time, but he never said anything. Not one thing. I think he's an absolutely terrible human.
Yeah, and that's another important thing, is that he's a mandated reporter. He has to report it. It's his responsibility.
I just thought he was a mediocre pastor before, but he always seemed caring.
I like that pastor before he knocked him. I mean, now he's a piece of shit. Oh, okay. I mean, I guess it's the way that he does everything, right? Just like all the disloyal
But
law
people show you the
tubers.
truth about them.
More like disloyal tube. Holy shit.
That's about the only words I've said to that pastor. I said, where was my family's pastor? One of the things that I learned.
Oh my goodness. That was really crazy. Owning God with facts and logic. Holy shit. All right, I want to see maybe a couple of these ones. Maybe just one or two more.
What are your general impressions of the Dabbleverse since you're thrust in, more or less toxic in LawTube? My impressions of the Dabbleverse is, God, I hate every community that exists on YouTube. All of them, unequivocally, without exception. I think they're all terrible. I don't think the Dabbleverse is any better, and I am shocked at how many people watch shows about absolute fucking nobody.
As he does a live stream to his supporters at 4 a.m. in the kitchen when he's eating sandwiches. I don't know why, but watch this trash. I mean, I guess you're right. Like, people just get interested in shit. What are you talking about? Like, people like distractions. Some people like to just listen to something on their second monitor while they work. Some people just want to escape from their own life. It's escapism, right? There's nothing wrong with it. Like, what are you talking about? Holy shit. What is the Dabbleverse? So the Dabbleverse is, it's like its own little community where apparently it's all based around, was it Howard Stern? I think I was reading about this when I was doing the Melton clips. Well, not clips, the Melton show. In Howard Stern, there was a guy called Stuttering John, who I don't know who that is. But he would dabble in comedy, so they called it the Dabbleverse. So it's all things that sprung up around him. And I think like Aaron Emotep is part of the Dabbleverse. I guess is Aaron considered part of the Dabbleverse? And there was that Chad Zumot guy, I think, was part of the Dabbleverse as well. I don't know. I'm not very very clear on it, but it's a little community. It's just like communities spring up around things, like how law tubers sprung up around law, basically. Maybe someone in the chat can fact check me. The Devilverse targets Aaron, or apparently they're enemies of him. There you go. It's about Howard Stern's moron sidekicks. Dabbleverse is an alternative sector. Yeah, I mean, these groups spring up everywhere. Grimsbar says, the story of Job, that is all. Nice and to the point, Grim. Very succinct. And, how was this? Ariek the Red, is that how we say it? Eirik the Red? 5. Nick admits he hates every online community as he's streaming to his own dwindling online community. Yeah, there's such a lack of self-awareness in these clips is what's really baffling.
What are your general impressions of the dab?
All right, that was a pretty quick one. All right, this is the one. I think we'll watch one more. This one, this is the ones that I want to see. This is the one where he when he talks about his own court case, the one we read through. So he's talking about how doomed he is. This one is surreal, actually.
I haven't read my appeal. I hope guys, my appeal is going to lose. Almost guaranteed.
I mean, when you're right, you're right. I guess good job spending money on that lawyer to submit this almost guaranteed thing. I guess you got to take every shot you can, right, in this situation.
Because appeals are for losers. Winning them is a long shot. Not making any bones about it. Believe me, I want my appeal to win, but it's probably going to lose.
How's it going, Will?
I haven't read it, though. So I hope it's competent this time.
This is factually inaccurate because his court documents are on Kiwi Farms and he reads everything on Kiwi Farms. So therefore, he must have read it. QED.
Good. I'm getting a lot of criticism from people who should know better.
Okay, so this is getting a lot of criticism from people who should know better. So he's obviously talking about other law tubers. So his Frank's motion was criticized by basically everyone in LawTube, and they should know better, but they did know better because it was denied, as they said it would be. So what point are you trying to make here?
Insinuating or directly saying that it's me who's writing.
Okay, there was more. All right, to be fair, there was more of this sentence that I kind of cut off.
Me running a legal defense and all that stuff in the strategy.
I almost guarantee, though, he did write some of those legal briefs because you can tell that there's a difference in quality. Because his appeal one seems like fairly competent, right? It looks like someone else wrote it. His Frank's motion one almost certainly sounded like he wrote it. It's very amateurish. It's very strange.
Now you hire a lawyer to do that for you, and then you let him do it. It's infuriating. It's not what I would do.
Why don't you do it yourself?
In some cases, and that goes both ways. Like, it's not what I would do because it's very smart, like angle to attack, or it's not what I would do because I don't think it's very useful. But that's why you hire someone else. Again,
well, that's true, because the attorney that represents himself has a fool for a client.
And I have so many stories that have to all have to wait until this is done. Everything's wrapped up. And like specifically so. I have to really watch what I say.
Then maybe just don't talk about it at all. If there's even a chance, like, this is what's really, like, obviously he complained in a different clip where he's like saying, some people want me to say everything and explain myself. Some people want me to say nothing. Just pick a lane. Pick a lane. But if there's even a chance that anything you can say could damage your ability to be with your children, just don't say anything. It's not worth it, because nothing is more valuable than your children. Right?
So I just won't say anything.
It goes on to cope for another minute or
might
two.
Not matter, but didn't you tweet that you did mountains of cocaine? I think I tweeted that I was.
You just said you were going to say anything. You just said you were going to. Now you're going to admit to using cocaine.
At some point in time, yeah, yes.
I'm not going to say anything, but I did do a mountain of cocaine. Oh yeah, woo. He hasn't taken a plea yet. He seems because he didn't, like, if you look at Kurt's video, which is actually very good. Kurt talks about how typically you will surrender your ability to appeal when you agree to a plea, although not in every case. The fact that he put in this appeal in a very untimely, a very weird time, and he hasn't even lost his case yet, shows the best evidence that we have that he has not taken a plea. So don't say this. It's going to only make it worse. Holy shit.
says absolutely nothing about the crime I am charged with. So I know.
Possession of cocaine? Hey, look, I did a mountain of coke. That doesn't mean that I had a mountain. That doesn't mean that I possessed a mountain of coke. Look, if this comes up to a jury of your peers, it's not going to look good, buddy.
I know some people are freaking out about it. Andrew was going on about that. Andrew's a fucking idiot. Like, it doesn't matter.
Andrew doesn't have these coke charges against him. Doing pretty well for himself, isn't he?
Dude, if they...
Oh, my mistake.
If
Don't be a
I
nerd.
otherwise am winning and they hang me on a tweet about doing mountains of cocaine at a completely different date and location, I guess they got me.
That's a really, like, I'm sorry, the universe is so funny that this is almost certainly going to happen now. It's meme magic. I'm sorry, my friend. You are about to get away with it, but then they're going to have this one tweet that's going to crucify you because life is just that funny, apparently. Like, no, you tweeted about doing mountains of cocaine. You didn't specify when. They could definitely argue that it was when you had it in your house because you were caught with an 8-ball, like fucking, what, 26 grams of coke. And we don't even know how empty that bag was. Maybe it was a full fucking pound or something before you got through. Maybe you just hoovered it all up. Who knows? Because people were using the coke that day. You know.
Usually don't think the tweets help public opinion. Yeah, I'm not trying to. Like, it's funny. People like...
Is it weird as well as funny?
It needs to take accountability or whatever. And then you say something and they're like, I can't believe he said that. So,
well, no, what's happening is that some people are saying things and some people are saying other things. And the people that ask you to take accountability are not the same ones that are telling you to shut up. The internet is not a monolith. There are thousands, tens of thousands of people interested in this case. And they have differing opinions. So, yeah, one person's going to say something and another person's going to say another thing. That's why you have to pick a lane and stick to it instead of trying to please everyone.
Which one do you want, man? Like, do you
just
want
pick one.
Someone to be honest, or do you want them to not say anything? Like, what? Oh, why do you care?
I mean, I care because it's very entertaining. I think that Nick should absolutely shut up and not say anything. Unfortunately, that's very boring if he does that, and so obviously, I have an incentive for him to talk as much as possible. Because he only hangs himself with a rope that he's putting out there.
That's the other thing. I don't mind that people find my life interesting. Or
you clearly do, though.
Interesting. I find it interesting. I want to talk about it more. It's one of the reasons I haven't been streaming so much is because it's. I didn't want to talk about it tonight, but I drift into.
Wait, what the fuck did he say? Like, he wants to talk about it more, and that's the reason he hasn't been streaming. This is a very funny and weird thing to say.
To it. So it's like, but I don't mind that people are interested, but that's where it should stop. Like, you're just interested, you're learning about it, whatever. People make it out like my life somehow affects theirs in some way.
It doesn't. I mean, it affects my life financially because these streams are very profitable. But no, it affects them as an entertainment. Like, you said that your life isn't a soap opera and that it isn't some TV show, but it absolutely is because it's entertainment. And you know that because you built your career on doing this very same entertainment. Russell Greer, Ron Toye, Tonkasaw, what was that? Duncan MacLeod, Vic Mignogna, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, Kyle Rittenhouse. It's all entertainment. You just don't like it, and now you're the nail. It's fun being the hammer, but not so much being the nail, as PPP would say.
Grossly.
As Pay would say, I should say.
Offended them. When do you anticipate being able to tell your side completely unfettered? Hopefully by the end of the year. I don't know. It depends. It depends on if I'm going to trial, and it depends on when the trial date is. The trial date could be, if I'm going to trial, the trial date could be in February or March.
Did I say that?
It's hard to say. I haven't read my appeal. I hope they.
Oh, there we go. Scarebro with another $5 says, hating communities is cope for having to put effort through conformity. He wants to be the cool guy. That's why his detractors are now prudes and nerds. Well, like, the real thing is that he wants to be Jim, right? He wanted to be Mr. Medica. He was friends with Mr. Medica, and he tried to meet up with him in real life and stuff before Nick turned on him. Oh, not Nick, but before Jim turned on him. And I think he holds a lot of animosity towards Mr. Medica, actually, because what happened is that Montegraph was suing Jim, and because they both live in Minnesota, Jim came on to talk about this because he was like the internet lawyer. And there was an interesting thing that I learned then is that when you get a copyright claim, you can give your real name or you can give your attorney's name. And Nick gave his law firm practice as Jim's representing as Jim's lawyer, right? So that's when Montegraph really latched on to Nick. And then obviously Nick went on to go call him a PDF file and all sorts of things. And Montegraph sued him for defamation. And now he's $200,000 in the hole. And they haven't even reached a verdict yet because that's just his court filings up to this date with Randazza, one of the most expensive anti-defamation lawyers in the country. Now, he could have settled this immediately by just apologizing, but he wanted to make an example out of Montegraph, and it backfired. Very, very unfortunate. So I think he's still very angry at Daddy Jim for that. Very, very sad. Now, I think there's a couple other ones. There's a couple other clips, but let me see. I need to close this one. These ones seem a bit dark. They might be joyless. Let's see. Government's thumb, mental health, and starting a new streaming app. All right, we'll see this. The last one, I think.
Someone's got a problem
This one's like 4 minutes.
with what I do or say at this point.
Also, welcome as new member. Thank you very
can't
much.
take my kids. The government can. Fuck off. I'm not scared of any of you. You get a little perspective change. Get a little perspective change when the government comes into your life and starts fucking around. You start finding out.
Well, no, he owes Montegraph $200 to $300, but he owes. Oh, sorry, you're right. Sorry, I was looking at the comma there. I'm just being retarded. He owes $200,300. Yes, you're correct. He owes Monty that, and he owes his lawyer $200.
Because the government never finds out. They just make you do it. Have never felt as unhealthy as being under the watchful eye of the government. Never felt as terrible about
So is he saying that he felt better when he was high on coke every day and doing coke streams, showing up with blood coming out of his nose, showing up with white powder in his nose? He felt healthier then than he does now? Don't know about
myself mentally or physically. They've truly done a number on my life, and I get to spend a lot of time fixing it. But hey, the good news is I actually want to fix it. I haven't paid attention to anything other than...
That's a lie. That's a lie. Chat rated that as a lie. You paid attention to everything. You paid attention, read your Kiwi Farms every day. That's how you know all these details about legal mindset and Sean doing his little model streams. And that's how you know when to send a null shower text, right?
Well, to be honest, trying not to... I got really close to some really dark thoughts.
Ooh, this is the dark one.
Keeping myself away from, cliffs or whatever has been high priority. But I got through that.
I mean, that's good. I think nobody wants Nick to off himself. That's ridiculous. I hope he does recover from this. It just is very unlikely.
So
that's a big ass though.
Thanks for everybody out there who sends me messages of support and stuff. I'm really sorry I have not gotten back to him like I used to. But
it's a weird thing to say as well. Thanks for the messages. Sorry I don't respond to them like I used to. I'm much too busy now, not streaming. Yeah, send him a nice message. That's nice. He's too busy responding to Breaking Baldo and Malcolm X on Twitter to respond to his actual positive messages. So this is a problem though. He's literally focusing on the negativity. He tells you that he's not, but if he literally just blocks the haters and just focuses on the nice things, his life will get better.
That's how it goes. Going through all this has been really frustrating.
I mean, that's an understatement. Yeah, I imagine having your children taken away for 77 days by the government because of your coke habit and the statements that you made online, self-incriminating. I can imagine that being a little bit frustrating. Yes, I could agree with that.
But recently I remembered something.
Wait, who the fuck's messaging him at 4 a.m.? Is that his lawyer? Stop streaming! Stop streaming!
Fucking like me. I like me,
Oh my goodness, he's love life, laugh maxing. I love me.
I don't really want to change much. Obviously,
that's the problem. You should want to change that.
There's some things that probably need to be changed, but just in general, I like me. Fuck anybody who doesn't.
If you don't like me, you can go fuck yourself. Look, if you don't like me, then you're all right. I don't care. There are loads of people that don't like you. Now, Nick said, like, Nick used to drop a few pearls of wisdom back when he was not wet brained, when he was not sober, but he was still just like he was able to control the drinking, right? He said that if there's two people on the internet that watch you, one of them hates you. And that's the reality, is that a lot of people just don't like him. Sorry, just don't like him. And that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. Hating the people that don't like you isn't constructive, though. It's not going to help your life.
Go away. Go do something else. I don't mind. You're supposed to fuck the ones that do like you. No, trust me, Skull Leader, you get in trouble for that one too. It's one thing they don't really prep you for in streamer school. Like, you're going to live your shitty days in front of the camera too, because
No, you choose when to stream. You set the hours. You don't have to stream if you don't want to. You don't have to just like log on and stream every day. Now, it is great thing to do to build up habit learning and stuff. Like, so a lot of people criticize Aaron for being like the steel toe boring show or something. One thing you can't criticize Aaron for, though, is his conscientiousness. He works like 2 streams a day, every day, Monday to Friday, it seems. That's way too much in my opinion. But like, he gets up every day and he puts on a show and hundreds of people show up and watch him, regardless of if you think his comedy shit or not. But you don't have to do that. You can set your own hours. You literally can work anytime you fucking want. There's no Mr. Steinberg telling you got to log on to the stream at 9 a.m. otherwise you're going to get canned. No, that's why you liked being a streamer, is because you could do whatever you wanted and you didn't have a boss. But the thing is, it became a job. It became something that wasn't fun anymore. And that's when you hated it. That's why you stopped skipping streams, because you couldn't stand that you had to be there for just every day to work, right? It's like, I'm sorry, but that's the way it is.
show keeps going.
And he hasn't. And he says this like he has to stream. Like, he hasn't streamed in a month in this, but this is like the first stream I think in all of October.
That's where a lot of big into a shitty day. Most people's shitty days aren't recorded and broadcast. Here's the thing, like with streaming, if you're streaming and you kind of look like a sad sack of garbage.
Oh. This is a cool man full of joy, by the way. He's not a sad sack of garbage.
People don't really want to watch. It's not entertaining.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Some people definitely watch sad streams. Like, there's a few I know of.
So I didn't. While I was a sad sack of garbage, I didn't stream.
Why are you streaming now?
I've been spending a lot of time finding myself. I've done a shitload of therapy, which is great. As I come back.
Really? When did you do therapy? You mean the court mandated rehab classes that you said was stupid because, you know, you're not like the other druggies that were in there that had real problems?
I'm only going to talk to people I want to talk to.
Okay, that's fine.
It really sucks because I'm not going to be in the mood to like help people for a while. They probably don't want my help, which is fine. It's dumb though, because I'm fun.
40-year-old dad, 4 a.m. in the kitchen. I wish I could go on people's streams. I'm so fun. I'm such a fun guy. Oh my goodness. Holy shit. Look, it's like that thing where if a king has to call himself a king, then he's no king. If you have to describe yourself as fun, you're not fun. Come on now. If you're fun, people will want to hang around with you. You don't have to tell them how fun you are. You don't have to tell the Kino Casino, oh, I would have gone on there. I would have made him so much money. It would have been such a fun, cool guest. You don't have to tell them these things. If it was true, it would be self-evident.
But that's okay. I'm not going to be in the mood to like help people out or whatever, because it's exhausting helping people only to have them try and fuck you over and over and over again.
Disloyal tube. There's a funny pause, like the half cross dissolve. It's like, yeah, that's me. I bet you're wondering how I got in my kitchen at 4 a.m. eating a sandwich.
Biggest goal.
Holy shit.
for my channel right now is finding a trial that I can actually cover.
What? There's so many trials to cover right now. Like, holy shit, the Sarah Boone thing is like massive. I think it just concluded too. It was a short one. It wouldn't have been a very big time investment. You got the debates from the vice presidents. You got the Joe Rogan podcast with Trump and guns, something that your audience loves and will tune in to watch. You've got the election fucking coming up, November 5th, right? It's almost here. What do you mean you can't find something to stream? It's soup. There's something happening all the fucking time.
Reasonably. I don't know if you guys are...
Wait, I'm gonna go to my homepage on my YouTube just for a second. Let me have a look. Who's streaming? Legal Vice is streaming right now. Sarah Boone review and breakdown of closing arguments and verdict. Vice is doing it right now. Just do what he's doing. You taught him, right? Holy shit.
Remember it, but I think it was like I said the same thing like a day or 2 days before I got arrested, when I was serious.
By the way, Nick hates trial streaming. He said that like he actually had a Freudian slip where he says like, do you know how many hand jobs I could be getting in the Twin Cities instead of streaming? He hates fucking trials. But the thing is, people love trial streams, and those are big earners for him. But it's so much work, because imagine being on stream for the same amount of time as the attorneys, the jury, the judge, everyone in the gallery. Surely you can't do as much work as those people there in the physical location from the comfort of your own house, your own bedroom, your own basement, where it's full of Warhammer figures and bottles of liquor. That's much too strenuous of a work day to do. Oh my gosh, it's so exhausting. 6 weeks. Oh my goodness. What about the fucking people in the trial? I think they're having a picnic over there. But it was too much work. So he said he didn't want to do the trials. But then he disappeared, and he went on his coke benders, right? And his pursuit of freedom and hedonism and fun and cool things to do. And then he realized his numbers were down. He's like, well, I guess I got to start law streaming again. I really love law stream. I can't wait to do it. Like, he literally said how much he fucking hated them. And then he's like, don't worry, guys, new videos every week with the court cases. Yeah, okay, buddy. Okay, buddy.
So mad. By the way, normally people say, oh, you should try something. You shouldn't, don't try getting arrested for a felony.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's good legal advice. Rare W from the legal.
Like,
legal
that's not one
analysis.
I recommend. Keep that off the list. Someone's
Oh
got
my
a
goodness,
problem.
that was a good one. Holy shit, I am fun. He should put that in his merch. That should be the 5K locals gift. It should be the just a T-shirt that says "I am fun" with a picture of the Baldo, right? Unfortunately, my YouTube chat's still broken. Oh, stupid monkey. I can still see you guys. On my live stream chat though, so that's okay. Scarecrow with another 2 says he doesn't have his usual lubricants to see through it. Yes, he can't drink and watch streams anymore, which is very, very sad. It was crazy how effective that was as a like it was like I'm gonna be real. I think those streams were fun. Like the old Rekieta streams. I miss the old Nick. I do. I think they were good. A lot of people changing the record now, saying they're like, it was never good. We just watched it because we were all stupid. No, they were fun streams. You'd like chilling, having a drink. A lot of people were drinking along with the show, making some gaffes, some giggles at the silly things going on the Johnny Depp trial, the Rittenhouse trial. And they were good times. They were fun times. There was a whole group of friends, a whole cast of characters in the Law Tube before the Law Tube civil war and the drama with Snake Bites, who's actually doing very well for herself these days. Apparently, Legal Bites. Very, very successful now. I think she's got a kill on the way, so good for her. Although I don't approve of her copy striking of her cope streams and things like that. But it is what it is, right? Those are the days. Those are the days. I think that's the end of what I've got for you tonight. Yeah. Let me see. Did I have any other memes loaded up? I think that was the best one right there. That's good. I think we're good there. So, guys, let me know if you're interested in reviewing the omnibus trials that will be taking place tomorrow, and I believe the next day. That'll be for Kayla and April. My interpretation is that they're going to be very quick affairs, like similar to Nick's 30-minute omnibus hearing. Probably going to be the same verdict. I mean, if there is by some crazy turn of affairs or something, that it actually turns out that one of them does get the search warrant thrown out in the omnibus, then that would be like, holy shit. He can't keep getting away with it, but very unlikely that's going to happen. So we'll have to see. Big support tonight on the stream. Much appreciated. I should raid Legal Vices. Yeah, why not? Why not? I'll give a raid to old Legal Vices boy. I'll set that up right now. So if you're interested in the Sarah Boone trial, arguments and discussions or something, then you can go see that on Legal Vices channel, and the stream will redirect to you in just a second. As for me, let me know what cases or stories or videos you're interested in seeing in the future, and I might just do them. Who can say? And much thanks for showing up and chilling out. If you haven't liked the stream, you still have a chance to. And if you're watching on replay, let me know what you thought of these streams and what you want to see in the future as well. Until then, stay safe out there, and don't fuck up your life. Don't throw away everything you have for an extra crumb of pussy. Just be happy and live, laugh, love, right? I'm fun. I'm not a nerd, and I like me. That's what more can you say? Peace.